too. Yo, that sucked. The Toronto Raptors suck. No, I'm just kidding. The Raptors don't suck. The Raptors came into this game with a horrible approach. It's embarrassing. The Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors went to the hood at 2 a.m. with a water pistol and it brought a water pistol to a knife fight. And they got stomped. They got curb stomped. Okay. This team looked physically outmatched. It looked like a G League team. It looked like a varsity team going up against the collegiate national champion. Okay. The Pistons are not this good. Okay. I've been talking about the Pistons all year. I have told y'all many times, you're not on this level. You don't have the athletes to play against this team. Okay. There is, thank you. Is there a middle ground here? Why do I need to shit on the Toronto Raptors when I do not think the Toronto Raptors are contenders right now? And I do think this Pistons team is probably the best team in the Eastern Conference. Why do I got to be mad? I don't got to be mad. Oh, because Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart are missing. Yeah, cool. Paul Reed was the best big on the court tonight. Tobias Harris was better than RJ Barrett tonight. I don't know what to tell you. Cade Cunningham looked really good tonight. Looked awesome tonight. Mud in my face. Not mud in my face. Not mud in my face. I said this guy would be an MVP candidate potentially this year. I expect this. But let's be honest here for a second. Can we be for real? There's an old Sam Presti quote that comes to mind. There's 1 month, a set of games for every team every year where it looks like the sky is falling. And there's probably on the upside, there's probably a game or two that you get where it looks like the sky might never fall again. It looks like, oh man, we've arrived. We're really great. And you're not. You're not. You've been phenomenally lucky. You get phenomenally lucky tonight because I'm not even going to joke with you. Paul Reed is really good. Paul Reed is a dude who Nick Nurse once compared to Pascal Siakam, and then Daryl Morey proceeded to waive him. And then the Pistons picked him up, and I have petitioned for the Raptors to get Paul Reed for years now. I really like this dude. The Raptors are too nice. They are too nice. They are too small. They are too inexperienced. They are too weak. And when you go up against dogs like Dennis Jenkins and frankly Cade Cunningham, who is an extremely physical guard, you go up against Asar Thompson. I mean, it was an ass kicking. And a part of me feels like this ass kicking was by design because I feel like the Raptors kind of walked into this game sleepwalking. Like the third time I saw Jakob Poeltl get beat on that switch, I was just like, this game is over. Scottie Barnes was ready to exit this game in the first quarter. Now, thankfully, Scottie actually did come back into this game and gave you a competitive little punch. And he was the one guy in this game on the Toronto Raptors side that I believe didn't feel athletically completely outmatched against the Pistons. That's probably a good thing. I mean, if Scottie Barnes goes for 7 points, I think you're crashing out a little bit more. The Toronto Raptors proceeded to lose this game by 18. Do you want to venture a guess how many minutes Scottie Barnes played? He played 30. You know how badly the Raptors did in the 18 minutes he didn't play? They lost by 17, which means in the 30 minutes that Scottie Barnes played, you played this team dead even. -1. Okay, -1. I'm not going to use plus minus as copium here, but I'm trying to tell y'all, Jakob Poeltl is going to get better. He looked totally horrible today. We said it. I think everyone has said it at this point. Esfandiar Barhaney, Samson Folk, myself, I think we've all said it. Yak is a good player, but the Raptors are better defensively without him. CMB is a better defender at this point for what the Raptors have to do defensively than Jakob Poeltl. And if he's not healthy, the gap is really big. Toronto didn't have CMB tonight. CMB might have helped. CMB is a really good Paul Reed matchup. I still think Paul Reed is better than him. And maybe that's sad for you as a Raptor fan who's bought the copium and maybe bought the hype on CMB. CMB will be really good, but right now he's a rookie. He's a rookie. Give him some time. Give him some time. He might be a combination of some of the guys on this team. He might be a combination. He might be the perfect amalgamation between Tobias Harris and Paul Reed and Isaiah Stewart. He might give you a little bit of Asar Thompson as well. CMB is a step in the right direction. Jacoby is a step in the right direction. I think Jamal Shed is a step in the right direction, but Jamal Shed looked completely lost tonight. I mean, you're gonna look at shots made. You're gonna look at threes going in or not going in. I'm gonna look at the process, and the process says Scottie got open a lot. He missed open shots, open pull-ups, open, step backs that I know I've seen him hit. He hit a couple great ones. He had a couple really nice dunks. I'm not super disappointed with Scottie Barnes' defensive effort or offensive effort tonight. I am, however, disappointed with his leadership. Fouling in the first quarter to get Yak out of the game. Now, I don't know if this was, I would love for the Toronto media to talk with Scottie about this and ask him the question in the post game if he does the post game. What was the point of that intentional foul? Was it because you were hurt because he was grabbing his hand after? Was it because you saw that Trace Jackson Davis needed to get into the game and Jakob Poeltl needed to get out of the game? Was there a minutes restriction? Was it a frustration foul? Because Scottie Barnes proceeds to pick up his first foul, exiting his first shift, which was like 4 minutes long, comes in on the second shift, picks up his second foul almost immediately. And then on a bullshit, what I consider flop by Paul Reed, he picks up a third foul. That means Scottie had 3 fouls and we weren't even out of the second quarter. I don't think were we even out of the first quarter at that point? And then Scottie Barnes comes back into the game, plays, in the first half with 3 fouls midway through the second quarter as the game starts to get away from us. And the Raptors come back again a little. And then Cade comes in, and it's stomp fest. The Raptors got it to 6. Cade comes in, stomp fest. It went back and forth a little bit like that, but the Toronto Raptors never had a lead tonight. This was not a close game. This is not what you want to see. I think the Raptors played tight. I think they played timid. I think they played scared. I think they played small. I think they played shook. I think this team put way too much pressure on this game. You don't need to play a game like this. This is a team, the Pistons, honestly, that just frankly was pissed off. They came into Toronto really pissed off. The league has just suspended 2 of their brothers. They're obviously still fuming a little bit from what happened in that last game. The whole league is calling them, thugs and, crashing out over Isaiah Stewart being a bad dude. And I think they just went out there very connected, wounded, undermanned, looked at Beef Stew, looked at Jalen Duren and said, you know what? We're going to stomp these dudes for you. And the Toronto Raptors, on the other hand, were too busy taking practice off yesterday because Brandon Ingram made a fucking all-star game. If you want to crash out over something, let's crash out over that. You have bigger things on your mind right now than whether Brandon Ingram made an all-star game or not. I'm happy for the dude. I was ecstatic. But I'm a human being who covers the team. I'm not a person who plays. I feel the Raptors approach this game from the wrong mindset. Canceling practice, not to make it all about that, but this team they were on vacation. They kind of came out and they're like, we'll trade some buckets. We'll put on a good show for the fans. Well, Scottie will get 20, BI will get 22. We'll accept their fucking balls at the beginning. All-star, yay. Glorilla on the sideline. Yo, Glorilla, do some CPR. Your man is dying on the court. Can we do that? Shit. It sucks. It kind of sucks. But again, this is a team that will learn from this. I hope they learn from this. You know how much is going to sting? You now go to the All-Star game with this loss on your mind. 18-point ass whooping at home. Not fun. The best thing after you get stopped? Game tomorrow. No game tomorrow. No more games. You got to wait until, is it? New Glorilla song announced. CPR. Yeah, for sure. We don't got a game tomorrow, right? This was the last game. Am I incorrect on that? Someone said Chicago. When is that Chicago game? Let's just see. Let me just check this Raptors schedule out here real quick. Yeah, February 19th. You got 8 days to stew over this. I hope you get pissed off. Dear Scottie Barnes, get pissed off. Your team got curb stomped and you did nothing about it. No, that's not fair. It's not fair to say Scottie didn't do anything about it. I just don't know what the hell you expect him to do about it. The man got 7 stocks tonight. 7 stocks in 30 minutes. He was relatively efficient. He missed a bunch of shots late. I'm not throwing it off of him, but he had 17 points, got to the line 7 times, got hacked a bunch of other times, had 4 blocks, 3 steals, was -1. Jakob Poeltl, for all his foibles in the first half, was -2. Was Emmanuel Quickly was -22. Raptors couldn't score with that dude on the court. His process was awful, absolutely awful. But hey, man, congratulations. Let me give you a little Mars golf clap on your 18 points right there. Brandon Ingram getting stripped, looked very, very timid. I don't know, man. I don't know. Games like this make you think, is this team even there? Did they show up for this? Did they want to show up for this? Did they want to make a statement and say, look, yes, we have two All-Stars. Yes, they have two All-Stars. Did they sleep on their opponent? Did they think that the other team was going to come in and have a hangover game? The game before All-Star break is always a hangover. It's a trap game. I don't say it's a hangover because there's definitely no excuse for a performance like this from the Raptors, but it is a game where I believe it's a trap game. Everybody's got their mind on their family. Everyone's thinking about what they're going to be doing the weekend, next 8 days off. People got their airplane booked, family travels, maybe a couple honeys, you know? And you're thinking to yourself, let me just get out of this game, not getting injured. Maybe Brandon Ingram and Scottie Barnes were thinking that. Let's just not get injured tonight. Darko Rajakovic deserves a lot of what happened tonight shouldn't happen. Shouldn't, really. These are two teams with two very, very different goals, two very different philosophies. And frankly, in my opinion, know your personnel. KYP, they say KYP, know your personnel. A good coach, just like a good manager, just like a good CEO, has to know their personnel. You got to know that Grady Dick ain't built for this. He ain't built for this game. Now, shout outs to Grady Dick. I do think he showed some resilience by battling back late. Did manage to get 10 points on 3 for 8 shooting. And he also, like Scottie Barnes, was a -1. Jamison Battle, in his 4 garbage time minutes, won his minutes by 1. Congratulations to him as well. Trace Jackson Davis looked pretty ineffective out there. Couldn't score. A lot of length. The Raptors have a lot of length between BI and Emmanuel Quickly. Maybe even Jakob Poeltl. But these are somewhat finesse players, right? And they do have a size, a little bit of strength between Jamal Shed, but he's small. Elijah Martin, he's small. CMB, he's small. He's small. These guys are small. So you either have small, strong players or you have tall, weak players. You have string beans on one side, like BI. You can get pushed around. You can get into their handle. They'll turn it over. You don't have long, strong wings. You don't have the Adu Thero archetype. You don't have the Carter Bryant archetype. You don't have the bouncy pogo stick. You don't have Andrew Wiggins on this team, frankly. And honestly, if the Raptors are looking, that's what you need. You need to match athleticism with athleticism. To me, this game felt like a preview, unfortunately, of what could happen in the playoffs. The Toronto Raptors rely on a lot of off-ball actions. A lot. Okay? They have players who basically thrive off of it. Emmanuel Quickly, Jakob Poeltl, Sandro Mamukelashvili, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram. A lot of these guys require screens. They require screens away from the basketball to free themselves up so they can get ahead of steam. They have schemable games. This Pistons team, for whatever reason, maybe they've paid the league, is just allowed to hold all the time. Jack Armstrong brought it up on the broadcast. They are hand checking all the time. They are hand checking every play. They're digging into your body. They're punching you in your ribs. When the refs are not looking, they're elbowing you. They are just handsy. They're very handsy. You're not going to call 35 fouls a minute. They just play a very aggressive style of basketball. And I don't think the Raptors showed up for this. Now, the Toronto Raptors are not a bad team. They are not the team that showed up tonight. They are not the team that gets stomped by 18 points at home regularly. I'll remind you, this Pistons team that y'all want to crown as the greatest thing since sliced bread, they just lost to Washington not long ago, like a week ago. This Cade Cunningham that we made look like Steph Curry tonight because of shooting variance, he shot 18% from 3 last year against the New York Knicks in the playoffs. So it happens. It happens. We are not about to crash out over one game. What we can crash out about is, and not really crash out about, but maybe talk about, is the mentality going into the game. What we can talk about is the consistent pattern of this team showing up small in these big moments. The biggest games that this team has played all year, in my opinion, and unfortunately, they've done one very, very undermanned. That was New York in the NBA Cup. Unfortunately, in that game, they showed up very small. They showed up very small, and they got completely mollywopped. And this game right here, you're going up one-on-one against an undermanned opponent that is supposed to be the creme de la creme in your conference. And they are down two very good players. Tonight, I don't think Jakob Poeltl was a good matchup for Paul Reed. I think there's a lot of centers that maybe Jakob Poeltl, even a mobily compromised Jakob Poeltl, may have a chance on. Paul Reed is not that dude. Paul Reed is a bullet train. Scottie Barnes sometimes struggles to keep Paul Reed in front of him. This is not a good matchup for Jakob Poeltl, who is obviously still trying to figure out his back. The Raptors did not have a good matchup for Cade Cunningham, so Scottie had to take him. But Scottie taking Cade opened up the avenues for who the hell is Emmanuel Quickley supposed to guard on that team? Who is RJ Barrett supposed to guard on that team? Are you seeing the point of not wanting to be small? If you, okay, make one swap on this team. Make one swap. Emmanuel Quickley, Jalen Suggs. Well, now Scottie doesn't have to guard Cade. Suggs can guard Cade, right? That frees Scottie up to be rover defensively. That frees him up to maybe relieve Jakob Poeltl of the difficult matchup. It helps him. Unfortunately, Scottie is the Raptors' best rim protector, and it's not close. With Trace Jackson Davis now in tow, he has some help in that department. But he is their leading shot blocker. He is the best guy at actually deterring shots at the rim. Having him guard Cade Cunningham, who is consistently operating 28 to 30 feet from the basket, is opening up all sorts of problem on the back line of the defense, and RJ Barrett is not going to clean that up for you. So it's a cascading effect. You're going to have this problem if you go up against any good team. I'm sorry. I know we swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have James Harden now. He is going to create so many issues. I want to be honest. Who the hell is guarding him on this team? If you deploy Scottie Barnes on James Harden because he's the only matchup for James Harden in your starting lineup, your stupid, backwards ass lineup. Okay, then who's guarding Evan Mobley? Okay, we'll put Scottie Barnes on Evan Mobley. Well, then now who's guarding Donovan Mitchell? Well, Scottie Barnes is going to guard Donovan Mitchell. So you need three Scotties. Good luck with the offense there. This team is just messy. You know what I mean? It's just messy. And then you bring guys off the bench like Grady Dick, and they don't have a chance in hell because they can't deal with the physicality of the guards and wings coming off their bench. They got third stringers out there that are taking Grady's lunch, and he don't know what to do about it. He can't do anything about it. He is not physically strong enough. Now, one thing to be physically underdeveloped, okay? Maybe you need some time in the weight room. Okay, there's a lot of players like that. Most young players need time in the weight room. Carter needs time in the weight room right now. CMB and Scottie probably still need some time in the weight room. It's one thing to be physically weak. Okay, I can get with that. I can understand that because that's a fixable problem. It's another thing to be contact averse. It's another thing to be mentally weak. It's another thing to be soft. There's a lot of players on this team that I think are soft. There's a lot of players on this team that I think are genuinely like Charmin soft. They complain about calls all day. They do not get back when they get beat. They don't recover. They don't take pride in defense. They complain and they point fingers. They cry to the referees all game. They don't take pride in their matchup. They don't help. They don't communicate. They don't put a body on somebody. And when, God forbid, they get hit a little bit, they don't respond well to it. There are some guys on this team that do respond well to contact, and I think all those guys showed that tonight. Jakob Poeltl responds well to contact. You may think there's a talent deficit here, and there is, but at the very least, he can hang athletically. At the very least, he can stand a chance to stop a Cade drive. Grady can't. And all Cade has to do is call Grady into the action or Grady's man into the action for a screen, and boom, there goes that switch, And there goes the double team. And there goes Paul Reed or Isaiah Stewart or Jalen Duren or Asar Thompson to the rim. The effect is real. Now, people want to bring back the Scottie versus Cade thing. Why do I even do this to myself? Why amp this up into this, game? Why make this so big? Raptor fans are probably throwing tomatoes at me. Like, how dare you? You had a poll, 1,000 people, and now we have mud on our face. How dare you? I tell you, it's because pressure in these moments is good. It's good. I want Scottie to feel this failure. We need him to know that there's a growth factor here. Cade also was losing a lot. A couple of years ago, Cade went through a historic losing season. His team was the cover, was the face of the NBA. What's wrong with the NBA? This team is so bad. He was there. He was playing. Okay. He grew from that. He learned from that. These playoff failures, they teach you, they become motivators, they become guidance for you moving forward, right? They do. Now, I'm not comparing Killian Hayes and the crap that Cade was playing with to who Scottie's playing with right now, but don't let this record fool you. I've told you this many times. This team is not as good as their record suggests. I petitioned very loudly, by the way, for the Raptors to not trade a first round pick at the trade deadline because I didn't think anything you could get could put you over this team. Now, you don't trade the first round pick. You don't go get Anthony Davis, who's still a hell of a player. You don't go get Domantas Sabonis, who's still a hell of a player. And you expect to beat this team? I told you you're not going to beat this team. You're not going to beat this team because they're in a different place than you right now. They're in a different life cycle than you right now. They have depth that you don't have right now. Be honest. Javonte Green looked pretty good tonight. Karis LeVert. That's RJ Barrett's most frequent comparison for me, by the way. Kevin Huerter outplaying Grady Dick. Who knew? Dennis Jenkins. Just a total unbelievable find. Not his best game by any means. Lost his minutes significantly, but if you watch Dennis Jenkins for the rest of the season, I promise you he's not going to have 2 games as bad as this one. And for the Raptors, again, I just don't think this team showed up mentally. And I think that has to come down to your best player, Scottie Barnes, and it has to come down to your coach. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. I think Scottie is at a crossroads. He's going to have to decide what type of leader he's going to be. Are you going to be the Kobe Bryant type of leader? Or are you going to be the Kevin Durant type of leader? Now, I say Kobe and Kevin Durant because they're both great players, but they lead in very different ways. And I'm not even going to bring up the Michael Jordan. I'm not going to bring up the Michael Jordan style leader because you're never going to be the Michael Jordan type leader. You're not mean enough, psychotic enough. You're not sadistic enough to be a Michael Jordan style leader. And I think maybe that's okay. If you are going to be a Kobe style leader, then this is the game after which you are going to break a clipboard in the locker room. You are going to call out individual players privately, not publicly, not in the media, privately. And you're going to say, we can't afford to do this at home over and over again. We cannot afford to get jumped like this. We did not respond tonight. I need y'all to fucking look in the mirror and come with some more professional pride. The next practice better be 6 hours long because of that bullshit practice we missed yesterday. Fuck my all-star. Fuck BI's all-star. We're about more than this. Okay? That's what I would say if I was Scottie Barnes. And I would also expect Scottie in that moment to hold himself accountable and say, you know what? My bad, y'all. I fouled. I wasn't supposed to. I did my best in this game. Y'all didn't help me either. So we all need to be better. Or you can be Kevin Durant. Chalk it up to teamwork. Leave it up to somebody else. You know how frustrating it was to have KD be your favorite player from 2007 to 2020? I wished so many times that Kevin Durant had that thing in his head where he could just take the reins of a locker room and hold guys accountable. But he never did. That wasn't his thing. That was Draymond's thing. When your teammate is fucking around in practice, is it your job as the captain or the leader to have a private chat with them. Is it your job? If the answer that you give me is yes, then you are a leader. And if the answer you give me is no, find a new job because you are not a leader. I don't think that Cade is the only leader in the Pistons locker room. I think Isaiah Stewart's a leader too. I really do. I think Isaiah Stewart, JB Bickerstaff, Cade Cunningham, they run a tight ship. They don't let shit slip. This is a team right now that is pissed off for something. This is a team that has come in with a lockdown focus. They were not picked to, I think they're over under, Vegas over under on them this year. I'll remind you, is 42 wins. This is not the OKC Thunder that you just played. This is a team just like your team that is young and overachieving and is greater than the sum of their parts. Cade Cunningham is not prime Michael Jordan. No matter how much he looked like it tonight, I promise you he's not. He is a human being. He got ripped in the open court by Scottie. There was multiple plays where Scottie put the body into him and just didn't finish, and one or two where he did. He is not God. He is not what y'all think he is. I promise you he's not. If the only game of Cade you watch is this game, you will walk away with a very warped perception of who he is as a basketball player. He's not shooting like this. He shot like this tonight, but he don't shoot like this. If he shot like this, I'd be like, fuck it, bro. You got MVP. You're the best player in the world. If he played like this every single night, he probably is the best player in the world. This is not who he is. This is who he was tonight. I don't know why he got it in for Raptor fans, man. I don't know why he always goes off against the Raptors. This is really weird to me, man. He was cooking OG like 3 years ago. When his team was shit, he was still putting OG on ice and cooking the shit out of him. Who knows, man? Maybe I brought this curse upon us with all my Cade takes because my Cade takes have gone very, very freaking viral. So maybe he looks at every single time he sees Scottie Barnes. Maybe he sees it the same way Darren Peterson sees AJ DeBonsa in those one-on-ones, you know? Like, damn, them Raptor fans going to know today that I'm better than Scott. But the truth is, it's a process. It's a process. I promise you, nobody in a million years saw that core of Asar Thompson and Cade Cunningham and these dudes. No one saw these guys 3 years ago and said, yeah, Jaden Ivey is going to get dumped for nothing, and they're going to turn into the best team in the Eastern Conference. Everyone was like, if Jaden Ivey turns into Cade's backcourt mate, then maybe they can be a playoff team. That was the projection 3 years ago. Projections can be wrong. But right now, again, this is on Scottie. As the best player on the team, you have an obligation to hold your team accountable, to come out and say, we don't play this way. I don't play this way. I don't play my best. We didn't play our best. We're better than this. I will always remember this moment. I think the Pistons were like losers of 24 or 25 straight at one point. Y'all remember that the Raptors were the team that saved them from the absolute pits of hell in the history books. But I will always remember Cade. And I remember like the moment, and he looked so dead and so lost, and he's looking at the camera and he's answering questions about why his team is so bad. And he's just like, we are not this bad. We are not 24 losses in a row bad. We are not this bad. He did not see it. He couldn't understand what the hell was going on with his team. But I felt in that moment that pain propelled him forward. That heartbreak was like a playoff loss because being the laughingstock of an entire league is not fun. Having your entire leadership and organization questioned, dragged through the mud, do y'all realize the Pistons are the only team that I can remember in my entire lifetime other than the 7-win Bobcats, and even they not quite to this level because everyone understood that they were trying to be bad and whatever. They're the only team that became watched for being bad. I want you to imagine right now that you're a Pistons fan. Forget about being a Raptor fan. Just imagine right now that you, last year, were Pistons bad. You were 26 in a row bad. And you had hundreds upon thousands and millions of people watching your games just to see if you'd lose another game. Now imagine being the players on the court playing on the team that's being watched to see if you're going to lose another game, another game, another game. And with every loss, 21 losses, 22 losses, 23 losses, 24 losses, 25, you're losing your mind. You're punching holes in the wall. Bro, you're going home. You don't want to talk to your wife. You don't want to talk to your kids. You don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to go out anymore. You don't want to be seen in the club. You don't want to go out in the city. You don't want to be at a mall because people are just being like, yo, why y'all lost 25 straight? Y'all know how fans are. Fans are fucking psychotic. So this is the point. The pain drives the momentum to improve. I myself could attribute to this many times that the worst moment of my life led to the best moment of my life. I'm not saying this moment is that bad for the Raptors. It's not that bad. It's fine. Whatever, man. You didn't show up. Fine. Your record is like 0-1,000,000 against really good teams. Fine. You're going to get clamped in the playoffs and probably lose, 4-1, 4-2. Fine. How do you respond to that? That is going to be the determination of everything. The Toronto Raptors got out possession battled by 14 tonight. So they shot 43%. They held the Pistons to 46%. I don't want to hear Darko bringing that up. The Pistons shot uncharacteristically well. This is not a 41% three-point shooting team, but they were tonight. 31% from the Raptors, 41% from the Pistons. If you change that, maybe this game's a little bit close, but it doesn't make it all the way. The Pistons got to the line a little bit more. The Raptors made more of their free throws. The Pistons out-rebounded the Raptors, 35-47. I do believe this is where Scottie could have helped more. I really do. I think tonight was a night where Scottie just had to go out and get like 25. Yo, what do you want? What is wrong with you? No offense. What the fuck is wrong with you? Can we talk about Cam Thomas? Because he had 34 points? What? Okay, cool. This is not the question about Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas can score. If you didn't know Cam Thomas can score 34 points, you don't know basketball. I also, by the way, said the Raptors could definitely take a chance on him. It's fine. But you're not winning games with Cam Thomas. He is an empty calorie scorer. He does not guard his shadow. And if he's on the court, unfortunately, it's going to be like Jakob Poeltl on the court. Why are you swearing, bro? It's my show. Like, what is this incessant need to look at every, okay, here's the thing. I don't like living this day-to-day bullshit, okay? The games, it's one game, it's one performance, it's one day, it's one person. It's not a whole season, okay? Victory lapping over one thing. So, look, there are people who every single time, there's been tons of debates, by the way, Cam Thomas versus X, Cam Thomas versus Y. There have been tons of debates about Jonathan Kuminga versus this, Jonathan Kuminga versus that. A lot of these debates, okay? For real, there have been a lot of these debates. So every single time someone be like, Cam Thomas really better than Cade, low key. Low key, Cam Thomas might be the next Michael Jordan, low key. Okay, but then Cam Thomas gets waived and y'all got nothing to say. Cam Thomas loses every fucking game he plays, y'all got nothing to say. But then Cam Thomas goes out for 34, you'd be like, let's talk about Cam Thomas. Yo, I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not going to be that dude. I got to do this shit like 6 hours a week on Player's Choice. I'm not doing that here. This is an overreaction free zone. This is going to be a rational place for rational people. Okay? We're not doing that. Cade Cunningham is better than Scottie Barnes, though. Bro, I ain't seen you in a minute. Victory lapping over another dude being better? That's some cuckold shit. Are you a cuckold too? For real. Can I ask you that question, Phoenix Plays Ed? I ain't seen you in a minute. I ain't seen you when Scottie Barnes was doing well. I didn't see you when Scottie Barnes was destroying the, Indiana Pacers. You certainly, motherfucker, you didn't certainly not come here when Cade Cunningham and his team lost to the Washington Wizards. You were not here, right? No, I'm a realist, though. No, you something, though. He's the second best player in this draft. Hey, man, that's cool. What is the take? What's the take? Old dirty bastard. No rational person thinks Scottie is in Cade's stratosphere. no rational person. We ran a poll for over 1,000 people. 52% said Scottie Barnes was the number one pick in a 2021 redraft. Now, unless you are going to accuse me of making 500 burners and voting, there's many rational people who can see the value in Scottie Barnes. And there are many rational people who can see the value in what Scottie does. And those same rational people can concede that Cade is having a better season. I think Cade is having a better season. I thought Cade had a better season last year. I still don't think he's having a better career. I still don't think he's going to have a better career. That's okay. You know, if you compared Ray Allen to Kobe Bryant in 2000, who would be better? They were both picked in the 1996 draft. Who was better in 1997, 98, 99? Early starts don't lead to long-term success. Not always, right? Old Dirty Bastard said 30 out of 30 GMs pick Cade in a redraft. Could be so. Could be so. And 30 out of 30 general managers would not have picked Nikola Jokic first overall, would not have picked Kawhi Leonard first overall. GMs can be wrong too. Well, Cade is not all-star. What? Cade's a two-time all-star, bro. What are we doing here? Daniel Franklin saying Cade and Scottie play different positions, so it's not really comparable. I mean, you can compare them all you want. I mean, the real comparison here. Look, man, I've had Raptor fans tell me RJ Barrett is better than Scottie Barnes. I wish I can get in a ring with all y'all dumbasses for real. I really do. I wish I can get it. I wish we can take this beyond the podcast studio. I wish we can get in the ring and just air the shit out. Because y'all don't say anything when those takes don't age well. You come victory lap because your sad ass lives are so miserable when things look good for your perspective. But what about all the months where things look very bad for your perspective? What is it? I want RJ deported from the country. Deporting a dude from his own country is fucking wild. Why are you like this? Phoenix plays Ed. For real, who raised you, man? Can you tell me that? Who raised you? Are you, okay, I need to ask some questions here. Are you over the age of 15? Am I just crashing out on a 14-year-old and I'm just like really upset about it? Can you let me know? Is this child abuse? You're over the age of 15? Are you significantly over the age of 15? Are you perhaps 18? 19? You're 21. Okay. All right. There we go. We got Coach Mo. We got Lil John. What's up, y'all?
I'm watching that game and I'm just like, Scottie's in foul trouble. Early, I was like, oh, yeah, we lost. And watching that game, bro, and I just see the players on our team on the court and how much some of them make. And it's like, they're not difference makers at all. Like in terms of they can't get us going. Like when we need them, it's like, to me, there are categories in terms of if you're going to pay somebody. So there are tier 1 stars. They get the max regardless. Then there are star players. Then there are like star/fringe all-star. Ingram would probably be in there. And I guess Scottie somewhere around there. Then you have the guys who make money who aren't technically stars, but they're like super role players. Like I would categorize like Aaron Gordon, Derek White, OG Anunoby type of players, right? They're not necessarily going to make an all-star team, but they're core piece, and they're very important to their teams. And then I don't know. I don't know what you would call IQ and RJ and Jakob Poeltl. I don't know what you would call them. I just don't know how much you pay those players. And then you watch them in a game today where it's like Scottie's in foul trouble. They're doubling Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why do we pay you what we pay you? Help us. Right. We need you. It's like, okay. And I'm not saying they need to do those things, but they're paid to do those things. And this goes back to before when I said, we're not going to be able to compete until we fix our books.
Right.
because this doesn't make any sense. You can't watch today's game and watch people literally be pedestrians and helpless, and they're getting paid what they paid. It's not their fault they're getting paid what they're paid, but it is what it is.
Right. No, I agree. Our books are horrible, and I hope that this is the worst version of Jakob Poeltl. But we do have a crisis on hand here. We have Alex Waves, who is typing in all caps now because apparently typing in small caps was not working for him. He said, "So Rob, oh wait, hold on. So Rob, why the fuck can her teams pick up gems out of the G League or free agency, but we can't?" Okay, we have a mental health crisis going on right now, and I am a good podcast host. I believe in helping my community out. So, Alex, this is a website for Canadian Mental Health Association, CAMH. Great people, lovely people. They're gonna put you in a nice white room. They're gonna put the flowers out for you. You watch all the basketball games you want. Everything's gonna be nice. It's gonna be all right, brother. It's gonna be fine. Scottie Barnes, you go to sleep for a little while. Scottie Barnes is going to be a 3-time All-Star, 4-time All-Star, MVP. All these people are not stupid. They're not crazy, and one day we're going to have a nice, world where you can come out, smell the roses, and realize the Raptors are a good team, and you won't have to deal with the entire process of having to watch a bad team become a good team. Okay, Pookie. All right, cool. Fuck. All right. Sheesh, man. Just people going crazy over Cam Thomas, bro.
Oh, he's mad we didn't get Cam Thomas?
Yeah, he's so mad. Someone said white room sounds racist. Bro, you can go to a black room for all I fucking care, man. Come on. Why are people like this? Why? This is what Jakob Poeltl does, man. I'm blaming this whole loss on Jakob Poeltl. I'll give you 27 million reasons why he can't guard a Paul Reed pick and roll.
Man, I know he's rusty, but I'm telling you, man, I don't know.
He'll be fine, man.
Here's my issue. It's one contract like that is fine. You can't have 3 on your roster.
I agree.
Because once you combine them, it's like, dude, that's like a mega star salary. Like actually more than a max salary, but you know what I mean? It's one is you can get away with it. 3 is impossible. So before contention, they have to clean up the books. It's unavoidable. Call 5-0.
Don't call Cam H, bro. Call 5-0.
Is that an IQ reference?
It's called 5, but it's called 5-0.
Yeah.
So you first call 5, then you call 5-0 for the $32 million contract robbery. Yeah. Call 5-0. I got it. I got us. That's great. This life is turning into a joke. No, one of the bits of constructive criticism I got was, Rob, you need to learn how to better deliver bad news. I was like, how do I tell them this is not a play? This is not a championship contender.
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
It's man.
Oh man.
Watching Shed shoot 3s and you're like, that's a miss. What do you think of Grady today? My goodness. He hit 1, but it's like,
yeah.
It's just it's a mountain. It's a pile, like a mountain high of mediocrity. They're just stacking them on top of each other. They're playing Jenga with mediocrity.
I mean, it happens, man. I watched San Antonio. Like I think it's very, very important as rational or attempting to look rational fans that we try to be objective that games like this do happen. Now, it's maybe games like this shouldn't happen as frequently as they do happen, but the Raptors, for the most part, they haven't had a ton of blowouts this year, right? There's a young team that's overachieving, and unfortunately, they have a very soft-ass approach to the season. I mean, I'm listening to the messaging from Darko, from We canceled practice because Brandon Ingram made an all-star team. Emmanuel quickly fucking trying to dump Gatorade on him, not realizing the bottle was fucking closed. I'm like, damn, that's poetic.
That's our point guard.
That's our point guard right there. Doesn't know his fucking bottle's closed. Dude, I honestly, you know what sucks? I feel like this is like an episode of Hello and Welcome where we're just laughing at jokes.
Oh, yeah. The two guys just laughing all day. Yeah.
Okay, this is an episode of Welcome and Hello. No trademark, no copyright. Call Cam H if you have a problem with it. Mental health is not a joke. But for real, like, yeah, I mean, look, it's not that serious. It's really not that serious. Like, you will move off these contracts. If anyone's under the illusions that they're just like, yo, come hell or high water, Emmanuel quickly and RJ Barrett, yeah, that's a championship backcourt right there. Like, if you think that's a championship backcourt, you're insane.
I agree.
RJ Barrett can do anything against this length today. He hit some shots. Cool. Did you find it hard to watch this game?
I did.
Yeah, me too. I had to, do you know how many times I disengaged from this game? I disengaged. Like, it's like a psychologically disengaged from this game like 22 times and had to rewind to watch it. It was bad. Lil John, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Are you here to add comedy or add tension?
I'm here to add comedy and probably just a little bit of analysis.
Okay, cool.
Like you said, I know like we're still doing the whole they're young thing, but like getting your behind whooped, like getting your ass whooped, this is like a getaway game. The game before, like, you're supposed to like steal
your
one of these
phone
games.
sounds like it's on a turntable and you're doing this. That's what it sounds like.
You
want to try calling back?
Lil John, me?
No, I'm talking to you, Lil John. Yep.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay. Sorry, I'm thinking of Lil John.
Yeah, Lil John and the East Side Boys. I just don't see. I'm not feeling any type of way about that loss, and you really are, because we don't really believe in this iteration of the team anyway.
If you told me the Raptors beat this team, I would have been like, what happened? Did they die? Did something happen? Like, I wouldn't have cared about it. Ugh. Okay, what? Listen. Do you remember Mr. Coach Mo? Do you remember other podcasts going nuts about the Raptors beating the Thunder?
Yeah.
Do you remember me saying, I ain't doing it?
The Pacers beat them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not getting too high and too low. I'm just enjoying the journey, and these motherfuckers won't let me do it. I just want to enjoy my team overachieving. Is that okay? I love this team. I love what they're doing. I love what they're about. I know this is not the final product. I know guys got to get better. I know guys need to be traded. I know there's guys on this team that do not fit. I know these guys are soft like Sharman. There's some of them. I know Scottie got to get better as a jump shooter. I know RJ probably got to be sent to another team. I understand all of this. I don't think Emmanuel Quickly's a point guard. There's a lot of issues with this team. Brandon Ingram's not super healthy. Jakob Poeltl probably got to be parsed out. Colin Murray Boyle's got to probably turn into OG Anunoby meets Scottie Pippen. I get it. Like, there's a process. Like, like, yeah.
I agree. And I just know, and I think you see it all the time watching them play, that if you're against the Pistons in the playoffs, or you're against the Celtics and Tatum comes back, or you're against the Knicks and they ramp it up, and it gets intense and it's physical, bro, we don't stand a chance. Maybe there's like 3 guys on this team that can even accomplish anything in that kind of setting, right? The rest are just gonna fold. They're not good enough. You can't play Grady in that situation. You can't play Walter.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly's gonna struggle in that situation. Yeah. I'm just saying it's inevitable. This is a first round exit team.
Right. Mauricio Arena is saying, don't mock, ridicule mental health. I don't know how I feel about this. Obviously, I don't mock, ridicule mental health. I am, however, suggesting that somebody who thinks Cam Thomas is the solution for this team after one game with the Milwaukee Bucks probably needs to call Cam H.
What did he do on the Bucks?
He had a great game.
He had 34 points. I didn't watch it because I was too busy watching my team get stomped by the Pistons.
I caught the tail end. Yeah, he was carrying their offense. Like they don't really have a guy who can like score and consistently like him. So he
Yeah, brother,
actually fit in really
your
well.
audio is cooked, man.
Yeah,
Your
bro.
audio.
I switched audio.
No, am I the only
Go,
one? Coach Mo, like you can hear the audio
I
stuff,
can
right?
hear it. I can hear it.
yeah, no, I'll call back another day.
Okay, man. Thanks. Peace. That's too bad. I wanted to hear what he had to say. Yeah.
I don't know why. What are your thoughts on teams like scared of free agency, like our strategy of trading for somebody who's with a year or two left and then re-upping?
We're not a free agent destination. How are we
Yeah,
supposed to get
no,
free agents? I mean,
but
Detroit's not a free agent destination either. They overpaid significantly for Duncan Robinson when the Malik Beasley thing happened, right?
but maybe I'm misremembering. Before the modern game, maybe 10 years ago or something, people's contracts just expired. Did that really ever happen, or everybody was read up in hopes of not losing the asset for nothing?
Yeah. I mean, people did hit free agency, but now people prefer to have that cushion, right? They prefer to have that next landing space. So I think agents are starting to think about the next contract. OG was traded in pre-agency. Ingram was traded in pre-agency. Trae Young, Anthony Davis. Basically, the rule is if I got 1 to 2 years left on my deal, I'm already talking with the team. What are you looking to get from me? Ironically, the Raptors did not play ball on this because Pascal, Fred, OG were all in this boat. Norm was also in this boat. All these guys they had already told the Raptors, this is what we want on the next contract. The Raptors had kind of balked at it and said that's too much for us. And then they didn't trade them at the right time. So it's a little bit like this team has just been, I don't know, maybe this team has taken on the identity of their, front office a little bit, right? They're a little bit timid. They're a little bit trigger shy. They don't really stand on business. I don't feel like the Raptors came out tonight with a game plan of like executing, I think they came out with a game plan of just kind of participating. When one team aims to participate and the other team is seeing red, it's usually a really bad sign. It's usually a bad recipe. And I just don't believe, having watched as many Pistons games this year, I don't believe that a healthy Raptors team is 18 points worse than the Pistons. I think at best they're like 6 points worse than the Pistons. 5, maybe.
Well, not the Pistons that are two very important players.
Okay. Actually, yes. That team. That's how low I am on. Okay, maybe 10, 9. It's just because they're so physical. It's because they're so long and because we have so many players who struggle against length, right? Scottie, to some extent, can struggle against length if he draws like a really tough matchup. RJ is absolutely a below the rim finisher. IQ struggles against length. BI struggles against traps. Jakob Poeltl can't guard a mobile big. Most of their bigs are pretty mobile. I mean, let's just be honest. Isaiah Stewart plays tonight instead of Paul Reed. This is worse. This is much worse because he's a better defender. So some of the easy looks that the Raptors did get in the paint, they wouldn't get them with Isaiah Stewart there. I don't know, man. There's gaps, and they've done a great job. Salute to the Pistons. They've done a great job of assembling talent that works around Cade. And frankly, like he played great tonight. He had great command of this game. He played like a point guard.
How many players on this current Pistons team would you say are core pieces, as in when they're finally ready to hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy, these players would be on the roster? You envision them being on the roster?
For the Pistons?
Yes.
Isaiah Stewart, Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson. 100%. 100. I don't know. I could see them trading Jalen Jarrett.
Okay, now do that for the Raptors.
Scottie Barnes.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there.
Because you know what Asar Thompson is? He is the 5th overall pick in the draft that we didn't want to tank for. You know what Victor Wembanyama is? The Victor Wembanyama who scored 25 points in I think he scored 21 minutes and 5 minutes yesterday. That's the dude that we didn't want to tank for.
Yeah.
So look, I've said this before. I was like, no one is going to come here. Like Here's the thing. Just at least be accurate with your victory lapping, right? I try to be accurate with my victory lapping. I had Carter high on my board, so when Carter goes off, I'm going to be really loud about it. And when he has a stinker, people are going to cook me about it and be like, didn't you say this guy's good? He just shot 1 for 8 in the G League. Okay, cool. We can be accurate about cook sesh, right? We can be accurate about victory laps. But the people who want a victory lap right now are putting me in a position that I don't even hold. Y'all want a victory lap after a fucking Pistons win when I've told you all year this team is not on that level. They're not on that level. You want a victory lap? Why don't you go and fucking victory lap on the people who are trying to tell you this team's a championship contender after they beat OKC? Go victory lap on the podcaster who was saying Bobby Webster needs to be fired because he didn't trade for DeMontis Sabonis. Go victory lap on that dude. Why you want a victory lap on the dude who's telling you this team is like going to start contending in maybe 2027, 2028? Last I checked, it's fucking 2026. So, look, did I expect Scottie to show up bigger today? Sure. Maybe. Did I expect him to pick up a stupid ass foul like that? No. Scottie should definitely take part in this loss. He definitely needs to own up for this loss. And I hope he does. This loss to me is on the soft ass approach to this game. It's on Darko. It's on BI for being, maybe just trying to preserve his legs for the All-Star game. It's this team just, again, it's just bad leadership. Really bad leadership. Phoenix Plays Ed said, which one is worse? OG trade, Norm trade, Maxi deal? Maxi deal?
Yeah, what's the Maxi deal?
Is he assuming that the Raptors could have traded Kyle Lowry for Maxi? Let me tell you something. If the Raptors could have traded for Kyle Lowry for Maxi and they didn't, if that's actually true and not just some bullshit rumor, that is by far the worst deal. But among these three, honestly, the Norman Powell deal. The Norman Powell deal is the worst because you traded an all-star for nothing. People on my timeline right now are victory lapping the Pelicans. They're like, y'all gave us an all-star for Bruce Brown and a pick, right? Bruce Brown is a better player right now or as good a player as Gary Trent Jr. and Norman Powell is an all-star and BI is an all-star. And by the way, the Portland Trailblazers paid him $20 million. So, and you paid BI nearly $40 million. So yeah, it's the worst deal. And it's kind of funny because getting Norman Powell was probably one of the best deals in Raptors history. It's kind of funny how that worked out. The same guy made both deals. That's so hilarious to me. So poetic. There's another quick super chat here from Bill Withers, HU3ZZ said, I need my GOAT to have more than 13 shots. Other than that, Scottie did his job to help his team. Bill, I appreciate you. I love Scottie. Scottie got to do a lot more than just take more shots. He needs to command the locker room. He needs to command tempo. And quite frankly, he needs to stop passing to dudes who are worse than him because you're not going to sit here and tell me that his teammates froze him out of the offense. That's not what happened today. Scottie got the ball a lot. Scottie decided to pass it off to Emmanuel quickly, pass it off to RJ Barrett. There was a time, and I am not joking, where Scottie had a pretty favorable matchup against a player that I fully expect him to go at, and he decided to swing it out to Mamu and have Mamu with Grady and possibly Jacoby on the same side of the court. So 3 role players on that side of the court, create something out of nothing. Okay, so this is not going to be some sort of thing where I'm going to be like, oh, the Raptor solution is Brandon Ingram and RJ Barrett need to defer to Scottie Barnes more. No, Scottie Barnes needs to be more assertive. Scottie Barnes needs to take command of games the way he did against the Pacers. He needed to do that tonight. Now, I understand, again, last game before the All-Star break, nobody's trying to fucking, twist an ankle, ruin the entire season. I get it. This team, the Pistons, are very physical, and I don't think a lot of people want the smoke. I'm going to be honest. I think a lot of people just kind of give up against this team. You don't want to get beat up for 48 minutes. You get a taste of it in the first quarter, how hard this game is going to be. You're like, fuck it. I don't want to be bruised up for the next 4 weeks. Red Salute. Showing up, small part of being young, up-and-coming team. Detroit are contenders. We're not, and they're far superior. But our time, and especially Scottie's time, is coming. What a poetic and beautiful super chat. Thank you for that one.
I just want to say, in Scottie's defense, the foul trouble didn't help. And early on in the first second, those stints where he had to go to the bench early due to foul trouble, the wheels just fell off while he was on the bench. Like it got bad. And then he'd come back and he'd bring it within single digits. He'd get a block. He'd find Mamu for a three. Like he'd settle things and then he'd get into foul trouble again. It was almost like if he wasn't on the court in the first half, we couldn't even tread water.
Last year, I went to see. I've talked about this game many times because I count it as one of the most traumatic experiences watching the Pistons and not the Pistons, the OKC Thunder and the Raptors at Scotiabank. It was a bloodbath, dude. Scottie looked like he couldn't dribble. Grady looked like he wasn't an NBA player. RJ looked helpless. Everybody looked so shook. That level of physicality clearly is just not what some of these guys vibe with. Like they just get rattled and they start rushing their passes. I don't think this team is soft necessarily. I just think they need to compose themselves better. They lack composure under adversity. And you know what? It's a young team. Most young teams lack composure under adversity. That's kind of the part of being young. So, but that's kind of the point is like, if you're Bobby Webster, you're looking at this team going into the offseason, I think you need to ditch your no jackasses policy.
Amen.
I think you need to stop thinking that everybody that you bring in has to be, the golf club type. No.
High character into mediocrity.
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah Stewart is very high character. Okay, Serge Ibaka was very high character. You can be very high character and still be like a kick-ass dude. Like James Johnson's a good teammate. PJ Tucker's a good teammate. Like being tough doesn't like these things are not mutually exclusive. So the Raptors need to go out and find dudes with like who invite physicality, who like physicality. Now, I will say this. They have done a very good job in the draft of finding guys who really like physicality. They're just not very good at basketball right now. That's just it. Very physical. And honestly, that 905 team is as good as it is because those guys approach games like the Pistons do. Anybody who has watched the 905 consistently this year would tell you that team gets after it. They are physical. They are tough. They're scrappy. They're even dirty sometimes. They beat you up. They out-rebound you. They out-compete you. They block the shit out of you. They get in the gaps. They're very, very competitive that way. They're a little bit like the Thunder, like this. And all those wins that they got, that's why. Yeah. AG, man, what's up?
I'm good. I think the chat kind of read my mind because I was thinking about, guys that I would add to this team.
Dylan Brooks?
Yeah. I mean, look, man, you were saying how the Raptors have guys that enjoy the contact and all that, but that's just a component. We need people who are just outright bullies and knuckleheads. Like I played with guys like that. I grew up in a rough part of town. There's just a certain swagger that certain guys bring to a locker room and an attitude that opponents feel. And it adds to the defense. It adds to the toughness overall. It makes the guys who are more on the timid side, it even gives them confidence. Like Cade is out there doing his thing. He feels confident because he knows he's got dogs behind him. And he himself he's a dog as well. He's a pretty physical guy. I watched the game really closely. I watched his game really closely. He's a physical dude, right? It's like you could like contact and all that, but once the game gets chippy and it starts to become a different type of game, a mental game, then you just see guys on our team check out, and it's like, I don't know. For me, growing up, I just never played ball with that mentality. If the game got tough, then I got even like just mentally, I'm like, okay, this is going to be one of those type of games
you ever swung on a dude at a basketball court?
What's that?
You ever swung on a dude at a basketball court?
Many times. Yeah, many times. I've been swung at, all types of nonsense. But like Dylan Brooks, Jalen Suggs is a tough player. Andrew Nembhard, I love his defense, and he doesn't look like he would back down. Like guys like this, man. We just have too many guys that are just, I just want to put up my.
You know who the toughest guy on our team is right now?
Who?
How about you tell me who's the toughest guy on our team?
I think let me see. I'm going through the roster in my head. I'm not gonna lie. I like RJ's mentality. I don't know if he's physically, but
Maybe Shed.
Shed.
This is a trick question, y'all. Chat. Who is the toughest guy on this team? Think what I'm talking about. On this team, tough-minded, tough physically, invites contact, no nonsense, no back down, just a real
CMB.
asshole. CMB. Rookie CMB,
Yeah.
damn. Everybody's
see
wrong, by the way. In my opinion, I think everyone's Garrett Temple. My God. What the fuck?
Come on.
The man, no one gonna get it?
Elijah Martin.
CMB, Scottie, Shed. Is anyone gonna say it? This ain't that hard. Just look at our roster.
You better not say Grady, bro.
Okay. I mean,
Magnu?
someone saying Elijah Martin. Yo, man. Someone said Walter. Nah, man.
BI?
Definitely not Brandon Ingram.
Darko?
Nope, not Darko. I promise you when I say it, people are gonna be like, you asshole. That doesn't count, but it counts. Someone saying Mobo. Nope. I mean, I know what you're saying, so I'm just gonna say this right before I have to wait 5 hours. There we go. There, this is the first correct answer. CP3. It's Chris Paul.
Oh, come on.
It's true. Am I lying? If I'm lying, I'm dying. Am I lying?
Oh,
It's a fucking asshole, man. Chris Paul's an absolute asshole. If Chris Paul was on this team, he's breaking chalkboards at halftime saying, motherfucker, wake up. Wake the fuck up, y'all. We are better than this. This is our home crowd.
Our problem is not necessarily that we don't have tough guys or dogs. Our problem is we don't have that, and we don't have the talent. So we don't really have the talent to truly compete, and we don't have the dogs to truly compete. So it's like, now you're really cooked.
Mm-hmm.
When shit hits the fan, yeah, you're cooked.
I mean, we got 2 All-Stars, right?
Right.
And we got decent guys around them. So I don't know.
Decent is subjective.
What the?
I mean, they're NBA players.
Yeah, okay, they're NBA players.
I'm sorry. Did I just see that? Yo, Mr. Reed, what's up, bro? You're the first person to show up with your shirt off. What's going on, Mr. Reed? Did you not know the camera was on? What's up? Was that a troll?
I missed that.
Yeah,
oh my God. Nah, but yeah, I hear what you're saying, Mo, but like, I don't know. I don't know.
Do we have more talent? Cool. Hold on. Here's the problem. Do we have more talent than the Pistons?
No.
Okay.
Mr.
Are we
Reed,
tougher?
what is up,
Are we
man?
tougher than the Pistons?
No.
So there's no chance.
Yeah, there's no chance.
Yeah.
They have better shot creation. They have better depth. They have better.
Those same two questions, Knicks.
They have better defense too, by the way. Yeah. Same question for the Knicks. No, we are not more talented than the Knicks. We are not tougher than the Knicks. We are not bigger than the Knicks. We are not stronger than the Knicks. We are not deeper than the Knicks. No, we're not better than the Knicks.
Where do you get to where you feel comfortable answering those two questions? What team do you get to? Because it's not going to be Boston. It's not going
to be Boston. Definitely. Go ahead. What?
You know what I mean? Like
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't love our chances against Charlotte. Okay.
Jeez.
I mean, Charlotte played this team way better than we did, and they were healthier.
Cleveland.
I don't think the answer is in our favor. They have the best player in that series. Once again, they have the best player in that series. I'm sorry.
Orlando.
I do like us against Orlando. Because I mean,
okay.
But even there, we haven't seen them fully healthy. Franz Wagner comes back. There's so much size on the wing. Who is guarding Franz? And if Scottie is guarding Franz, who is guarding Paolo?
Newsflash, we're getting smoked by Orlando in the series. Sorry, guys. They did way too much size, and we are just so tiny, especially at the guard position. Tiny.
So basically, if you do the math,
Mm-hmm.
we can really only beat a team in the play-in. We cannot beat, any of the top 6. We're not good enough.
Yeah, and I mean that was obvious. I hope that to everyone that was always the case, and I understand that when you go out and you smoke Cleveland 3 times and you beat the depleted corpse of the OKC Thunder at the buzzer, you start to feel yourself a little bit. You get 2 All-Stars. Oh, look, we have 2 All-Stars.
I know. You know what, though? That Brandon Ingram All-Star selection, good for him. I was happy for him. But a part of me was like rolling my eyes, like, they're going to milk this for all it's worth. And I agree.
Do. I hope they do.
Yeah, but I agree with you. He hasn't been a top 50 player. And it's like, even if he wasn't selected as a replacement, it wouldn't have been a travesty. Like, he wasn't a shoo-in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's great he got in, but to me, Scottie's are only legit. Like, Ingram is a fringe all-star player at this point in his career.
I hope it's just because he's rehabbing, man, because we are very, very invested in this idea that he will become that type of player.
Because the first time he made it on the Pelicans, his first year in New Orleans, that dude was bona fide all-star. Like, he was better then.
He was.
Yeah.
He was a lot twitchier back then. So I think that definitely helped the situation.
Can I make this one point?
Yeah, man.
I want to be a little bit conspiratorial here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, and this is like big picture.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since the Raptors, ever since Rodgers took over full ownership of the Raptors, I haven't liked some of the decisions that they made at the president position for both franchises, for the Toronto Raptors or the Leafs. And now I know this is not a Leaf show, but I just want to bring them in a little bit just to make a comparison in terms of their management and what's been going on for that team. It's a lot of I don't know. It's like hovering in the middle of between. We're not good enough to go for it, and we're not going to sell off our good players because we don't want to lose fans, or we don't want to, we don't want to turn this into a lost season in terms of revenue. So I don't know. It kind of looks like that here as well with Bobby Webster. Like, they just kind of said, you know what, we're comfortable with him. We know him. He's been here for a while. But if they really looked at it from a basketball perspective, in terms of the basketball operations, he's been terrible for years. I mean, he made 1 or 2 good moves over the last 3 years, but like his record in terms of trades, untimely signings, unnecessary signings, bad trade value.
Can you throw that all on him, though?
I mean, he's the head of the snake.
How do we know?
I mean, he's the GM, right? And he was Masai said for many years, like, he's the guy who's kind of like running things more hands-on than he was, right? For years now. So I don't know. It kind of seems like they're complacent with making money versus trying to build championship teams. That's what it looks like to me.
You can't give him credit for the Kawhi trade and then be like, well, how much is he really a part of it? Like, does he get kudos for the Kawhi trade? If you get kudos for the Kawhi trade, then I'm sorry.
He gets kudos for the Kawhi trade because he had an in with the Spurs front office. Also, while y'all have been talking, I have been pointing to Brandon Ingram on the leaderboard in every major statistical category.
Yeah. And it's not great.
He's like 89th to 117th in just about everything. Okay. So if anyone wants to make a case that he's a top 50 player, I'm all ears. I think he's fringe top 50. But fringe top 50 is not a lock for being all-star. All-star is you're a top 20 player. You're a top 25 player.
Skill-wise, he's top 15, I think. Just in terms of, like, talent. But, I don't know. Stats don't favor him.
Okay, cool. Let's put that to the shit test, because I think sometimes people just be saying stuff. So I actually want to hold you to that. I'm going to sort it for value replacement. You tell me if he's more skilled than this player. Nikola Jokic.
Obviously not.
Shea.
You can go down all the top guys. Obviously, he's not.
No. You said top 15.
No.
So I want to get through 15. Tyrese Maxey.
No.
Luka.
No.
Kawhi.
No.
Mitchell.
Nope.
Cade,
Nope.
Wemby.
I mean, talent probably, but that guy's 8 feet tall. So,
Okay,
but
no. Anthony Edwards.
I think that would be close.
No.
He's a better athlete, but like in terms of just
Who's a
jump
better
shooting, Edwards is obviously way better. Like he's more explosive.
Okay.
But like in terms of like getting a shot off, like Ingram's way better.
He's really not. But okay, you said no. This is your list. Jamal Murray,
Murray's better, obviously. Yeah.
Denny Avdia.
I haven't watched enough of him.
Okay, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis is better. Yeah.
Scottie Barnes.
Offensively, it's Ingram's better.
Okay,
But,
Kevin Durant.
Durant.
Jalen Johnson.
Oh, he's better than him.
Okay. James Harden. Is he more skilled
No,
offensively than James Harden? Okay,
No.
cool. Steph Curry.
No.
Jalen Brunson.
No.
Jalen Brown.
No. That's
Okay,
close.
cool. Okay, so you said top 15. Let's count this out. And I promise you we're not even close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so objectively, not top 15. We can get further, bro. LaMelo Ball.
Yes.
He's more talented offensively than LaMelo Ball.
I would say so.
Okay, cool. Joel Embiid. Is he more talented offensively than Joel Embiid?
What talented is such an arbitrary term. Like a center. I'm saying comparing his position. I know I'm moving the goalpost, but like,
If Joel Embiid played small forward, would he be more talented than Joel Embiid?
how do I even equate that? I don't.
I mean, Joel Embiid basically plays like a big wing, but I mean,
he does
Trey Murphy
Offensively, he's more talented.
is shooting not a part of talent. Like
A spot up shooter.
Trey,
You're gonna say.
Trey is not just a spot up shooter. He's a movement shooter. He's a pull up shooter. He's lethal. He's not PJ Tucker out there, but okay. I mean, it's your list.
I mean,
Chet?
just in terms of the eye test, if you watched all these guys like play ball, I would say like, I know it's not a very analytical point, but like,
did you see him try to dribble against Duncan Robinson and get stripped today?
oh, they were guarding him like Durant tonight. I know you guys are a bit hard on them. Like every time he got the ball, 3 people swarmed him.
Is he more talented than Pascal Siakam? I mean, I myself have made the case that he is, but
I would say he is.
Okay, Lauri Markkanen.
Yes.
He's more talented than Lauri Markkanen. Okay, De'Aaron Fox.
No, I don't think so, but it's close.
Okay, Austin Reeves.
Close. Reeves surprised me this year, though. I think he might have surpassed him.
Is he more talented than LeBron James?
No. So I get your point, but
Devin Booker.
I was overzealous.
Keep going down. Kyrie Irving, Paolo. I mean, we can go down, man.
He's more talented than Paolo. I think Paolo's overrated as hell.
I think I don't agree. Like I don't think he's a top 25 offensive player in the NBA.
Players that are as skilled as him. Like I know the analytics are shit, but
no, I get all of that, but dribbling is a skill.
True.
Passing is a skill. 3-point shooting is a
passing,
skill.
He needs to work on his
yes, I understand that, but I'm saying like all of these things are skills. Everything is not about like how closely does my game mimic Kobe Bryant, because if that's the case, then Cam Thomas is a really great basketball player.
Yeah, true.
Brandon Ingram needs to learn to, command the game with a little bit more pace. He's very talented. There's a lot of natural talent. There's a lot of natural fluidity, and there's a lot of natural aesthetic value to what he does. But I do believe that when people start to gas him up as a top 15 player, look, here's my issue with Bobby Webster. I've heard Bobby Webster say that Jakob Poeltl was a top 10 center. I disagree. I've heard Bobby Webster say that Emmanuel Quickley can be a top point guard in the league. I disagree. I heard Bobby Webster say that we basically haven't had a talented shot creator like this, like Brandon Ingram, since Kawhi. And even with that, while I get what he's getting at, I don't like how he values players. I don't like the value proposition on players.
Right.
It would be like if the Pistons general manager came out and said, you know, Tobias Harris, he's like the best forward we've had here since Blake Griffin. And it's like, I don't even know if that's true, but why are you saying it?
Right.
I mean, like,
I want to make a point.
Yeah, what's up?
You guys kept talking about toughness and all this stuff, like, and I value that too, but I think it's way more simple than that. This team needs shooting. Like, I feel like it's so obvious. I don't know how they haven't figured this out. Like, they have players like Mobo, CMB, Scottie, who could all be so good. Like, if we just had shooting around them, I don't understand why they don't do that. Like,
Mobo didn't play tonight. CMB didn't play
no,
tonight.
I'm saying,
yeah, like I get what you're saying, but like at this point, I don't think the problem with the problem with Mobo is not that he doesn't have shooting around him, is that he can't shoot.
No, but like, they
no
love
one
that
is building an
archetype
offense.
They love that archetype, but like
as a
the only
role
way
player
for that archetype to be good is like the Bucks approach. You surround them with shooting. I'm not saying they're Giannis, but like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure. If Scottie was in fact the level of, you know, shot creator that Giannis is, if he could command 34% usage like Giannis, you're probably a lot closer in today's game. But hey, if Giannis could anchor the best clutch defense in the NBA, maybe
Right.
you know, the Milwaukee Bucks are closer. Look,
Well, and in fairness, Jacoby and Grady were drafted as shooters. They just can't shoot for some reason. So they tried.
Well, then maybe the problem isn't shooting, because Emmanuel Quickley was paid $32 million to shoot.
No,
and Sandro Mamukelashvili was signed to shoot.
The only players I trust on this team are Mamu and Quickley. When they take it 3, the only 2 players where I'm like, oh, I think it's going to go in are them 2. Everyone else, I'm like,
but Brandon Ingram, the super skilled guy, you don't trust him to take threes?
He's been better, actually. On open threes, he's been better. But probably them 3. Nobody else.
I don't know.
I don't agree. I don't agree that Ingram's a better offensive player than Scottie, by the way. I don't agree.
Okay, but that's not my point. I'm talking about shooting. Like, they just need shooting.
No, to be honest, what they need is they need to build their team around their best player. And I think Scottie Barnes is far better.
That would mean shooting.
Than
he can't shoot, so you got to like make up for his
he
deficiencies.
Could. To be honest, he could, but there's
does someone want
to
tell their best player that he's their best player, because he doesn't seem to know it yet. It doesn't seem like Scottie Barnes has figured it out. It
doesn't seem like the Raptors organization is
down 15, you can't be deferring to Emmanuel Quickley, bro. I think we've seen enough Emmanuel Quickley to know you don't have Kyrie Irving on your roster. What is one trade that I consistently proposed for this team? Trade for Kyrie. That was the one trade. Trade for Kyrie, trade for Day'Ron Sharpe. Why do I want to trade for these guys? I feel like sometimes, like, do people listen to what I actually say? Or like, are people just like selectively listening to parts that they don't agree with?
I agree with Day'Ron Sharpe.
Day'Ron Sharpe is the type of athlete who would actually do well in a game like this. He wouldn't be too small. He wouldn't be too shook by it. That's a good matchup for Paul Reed.
Yeah, because we don't have lob threats or shooting. We don't have either.
Kyrie is another guy who wouldn't be bothered by a game like this. So basically, I was telling you, go get 2 guys who can play in this game. And not just because they can play in this game, but that means that their offense doesn't crumble against playoff pressure. Right? Kyrie can handle a press. This team has been zoned out like a high school team multiple times this year. And apparently he still hasn't figured it out. This team got pressed. Like, we saw presses in high school and we laughed. We used to laugh. Our ball handler, like our lead initiator, was so good at beating the press. We were just like, any team that tried to press us, I was like, okay, you're getting beat by 35 tonight. It's a joke. It's truly ridiculous. And the Utah Jazz tried to full court press us like we were bitches. I really don't. Red salute, man. What's up? I'm gonna step off for a second. Y'all continue the conversation. I gotta go do something real quick. I'm gonna keep listening though. Coach Mo, you in charge.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
What's up?
Yeah, I just think honestly, I think Scottie Barnes, this organization, they would be in a much better spot if they just realized, you know what, we need to treat Scottie like the way Detroit treats Cade, and actually build a roster around him that makes sense. Like the other guy was saying, we need shooting, we need guys who are athletic, we just need to supplement. We need to surround Scottie with guys that literally add to his strengths and minimize his weaknesses. You know, and it's like they just don't get it. They don't get it. They just try to build a roster that Scottie has to adjust to. No, that's not the way it works when you have a great player. Like, I don't know. We're like the only team that does this.
Dude, you're being too presumptuous and dismissive. Give it some time. Like, they just started this rebuild around Scottie. Like, they dicked around with Pascal and Fred, tried to make that work with Nurse. Now they're trying this. I did not like the OG trade, but give it some time. Don't just immediately. The sky is falling. It's doom and gloom.
Saying the sky's falling. You're putting words in my mouth.
Not you particularly, but I see this a lot. It's like, this is more so. I have Coach more so in mind. It's always the sky's falling. We've got these contracts. Yes, we all agree. We all acknowledge that, but give it some time. You know, they're not making these big trades yet for a reason, right? And we're not going to give up first. We're not going to give up first round picks for, backup centers. And it's the reason, because we can't, is it really worth, getting Anthony Davis right now or Sabonis in the middle of the season? You know what I mean?
But no, we're not suggesting that, though. I think you're reading into it incorrectly. We're just having a discussion. We're trying to have a big brain discussion in regards to the Raptors' direction, what they're doing with their roster, if it makes sense. I mean, we're allowed to do that as fans.
Of course, I agree, absolutely. But I'm just saying, just give Bobby give him some time, give him a chance. Don't write him off yet.
Yeah, but
because this was Masai's team. He was the man. I know he's not GM. He was the president, of course, but he was the one who wanted that OG trade done. And I think that trade kind of set us back a bit. Absolutely, the contracts are an issue. Yes, of course, we all acknowledge that. But at the same time, that trade, I think, making that trade and then making RJ and IQ starters was a mistake. That's so now we have to kind of fix that mistake.
Actually, I don't think that trade was the one that did it, but I think getting Poeltl was a mistake for sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Poeltl does not fit on this team.
But the problem with the contracts is, if we are ready to compete, or Scottie becomes, let's say next year, Scottie just takes another leap, right?
Yeah.
And he's like a bona fide top 10 player.
Yeah.
Now it's like, with the contracts on the books, it's really hard to be aggressive and take advantage of win now.
Absolutely.
Because the roster is flawed. So it's almost like, okay, you don't want to trade a first round pick to get off some contracts. But then
not yet.
If you're ready to compete, you need to get off some contracts, because you're not competing with RJ, IQ, and Jakob taking up as much money as they do and not really fitting with Scottie that well.
Yes, absolutely. But RJ's gone this summer.
No, he's not. He has one more year left. Now
he's no. They're going to trade him. He's going to get moved this summer.
Okay.
He's probably the first domino that's going to fall, because he's the
easiest domino to trade.
Absolutely. Exactly. That was the point I was going to make. He's the easiest. Absolutely.
But that still leaves the two bigger contracts in Jakob and IQ.
Absolutely, it does. No one is running from that. We all acknowledge that. We all agree.
And the problem with that is, we probably all assume Scottie's going to hit his prime before the quickly contract runs out. So I don't know how they're going to work it out, but
he might, this time next year, all three of them might be gone. We don't know. They could all be gone.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And
I'm on that train, to be honest.
And again, if I don't see you, if I can't envision you on my championship team, and you're not like a legitimate all-star or like a super sub, like a versatile 3-and-D, Aaron Gordon, OG type of player, I don't know why I'm paying you X amount, especially when you haven't proven anything. Because RJ and IQ haven't proven anything.
Yes, we all agree. But dude, I respect the shit out of you, but you make that point constantly, and you don't need to. We
I
all
know,
get
I
it.
know.
We
It's just-
we all agree.
My mind is blown when I look at
Yeah.
those books every other day. It's just
I
blown.
know it sucks.
I think quickly if he moves to the 2 could be a lot better.
Yes. Yeah.
Poeltl and RJ, I think, can get out of here, but I still have faith in him with this team. With Scottie, in theory, they fit together decently well.
You can
When-
keep one of the three and get away with it. One of those three can stay. Two have to go.
I think quickly is the one that fits the best.
Because you can slide him over to 2, and then
Yeah.
when RJ's gone, when RJ's traded this summer, it'll make things.
I want Poeltl
easier.
gone first. Get his value up, and
Yeah,
then ship him out of here.
that
He
would be
does not
nice.
fit at all.
Yeah, I think we can get his value up. The value, I don't know. Like quickly, I think he'll probably be the last to go. We may keep him. I have no idea. But I think
want
his will be the hardest to get up because
it's a flat contract.
Yeah, the
too.
flat. That's the thing. It's flat, so that'll be the toughest to get rid of. But we can certainly get around it for a while by just once we get rid of RJ, slide quickly over to 2, and I think that'll make things certainly easier. But then we need a point guard. Well, Scott can like Lane always wants. I would love to have point guard Scottie next year. I don't know if he'll be ready for it, but if he can improve his dribble, his handle, and yeah. But
Red Salute, would you agree that most people who cover the Toronto Raptors and most fans would agree that trading for Jakob Poeltl is a bad idea?
I think most people in the fandom agree. I can't speak for other podcasters. Certainly you, absolutely. I can't, because I don't listen to Hello and Welcome. I would think Samson and the guys at Raptors Republic would probably say yes, but they would do it super professionally. You know what I mean? They wouldn't come out and say, I hate that trade. It effing sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would think they would agree because they're not done.
Is professional code speak for like lying? Like,
No.
What if something? See, again, I think that I'm wrong. Yak is back grading the deal. I was trying to be generous with a D. What? I am a moron. This was not a D. This was a fucking F.
Yeah.
But I didn't stand on my nuts. I should have fucking graded this an X. It should have been a Z. And my reaction when we traded for him was everything. I couldn't believe it. Felt like, I was like salivating at the idea of maybe Wemby, maybe Scoot,
Yes,
maybe a Men.
Yeah.
And it just felt like they fucking took it from me.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off.
Yeah.
And I will remind you, on February 9th, my God, that's 3 years ago, 2023, we had 4,998 subscribers or something like that. And we were trying to get up to 5,000 subscribers.
And you lost a ton.
Yeah. We lost a ton.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get over. We just could not get over.
And
for an entire year, dude,
Yeah.
I listened to people tell me that I was wrong, that this move finally got them the center that they needed. And I'm like, you don't see it. You're going to see it in a couple of years, but you don't see it. So my point is, it's the same thing with this Jakob extension. It's the same thing with the Emmanuel extension. It's the same thing with not tanking properly last year. This year is the cost of doing the wrong thing is not immediately felt. It's a little bit like when you pick up smoking at 14. And people don't tell you when you pick up smoking at 14, they don't say you're going to drop dead tomorrow. They say you're making the worst decision of your life and you will feel this at 43.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Exactly. I agree. And this was Masai Ujiri's mistake. And it was a horrible mistake.
To be fair,
and
at the time he fit on
sorry,
the
can I just
team.
finish my
Sorry.
point? Sorry about that. I just want to finish my point.
No worries.
That was Masai's mistake. It was a horrible mistake. That team needed to be blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And you make that trade if Pascal and Fred and OG were tearing it up and Nick Nurse wasn't a toxic asshole. But that was the opposite was true. So yeah, but the other thing is we can get off of it. I think we can. We may have to throw in a pick. Maybe we can raise Yak's value. I don't know. Right?
Well,
it was horrible. But
I don't think he's going to be this bad for the rest of the season. I think he's going to get better. Yeah. We've seen better. And I
Yes.
think, unfortunately, Paul Reed is just about the worst matchup you could put on him. It's
Yeah.
a really bad matchup. He's an athletic, quick twitch,
Yeah.
above the rim athlete playing with an above size playmaker who you can't stop
Yeah.
with space on both corners. It's a nightmare situation. The Raptors probably shouldn't have played him. I think the Raptors probably have a better chance in this game with Trace Jackson Davis starting.
Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely.
Scottie playing at the 5.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Rob, saying that, there's a
Mhm.
lot of 5s in the East, especially in and around the Raptors in the standings that have 5s like that, who are of that build. So
Who are the 5s of Jakob's build?
no, who are of Paul Reed's build.
Oh, who are those bigs?
I mean, you look at the teams like New York, especially. I mean, they got 2 bigs. I mean, Cat is not really of that build, but like,
Well, I mean, Cat has
bench.
given Jakob business every time.
Exactly.
Every time.
Yeah.
No, Paul
Mitchell
Reed's
Robinson, I'm thinking of.
not big.
No.
Yeah, Paul Reed's about 6'8", dude. Like he's
Paul
about
Reed's
6'8",
Cat is
6'7" and a
freaking
half.
massive.
Cat is a legit 7 feet, and he takes Jakob to the woodshed. Look, one of the things that I said when we traded for Jakob is that his defense was declining, and that I hope it didn't decline very fast with the Raptors. I also prayed on a hope that maybe his defense was declining because he just wasn't trying very much in San Antonio. That has proven to be absolutely accurate. His defense has declined every single year, to the point where this year the Raptors are better defensively with him off the court. And that, to me, is unprecedented, because the guy who's replacing him is a 6'6" rookie, 6'7" rookie, generously. I saw a picture of Jakob Poeltl and CMB standing next to each other. I couldn't tell who was taller.
Wow.
So, like, the CMB would have been a great matchup tonight. I will go to my grave saying that we are in this game a little bit. We don't get blown out early and demoralized. Like, you got to feel it. Like,
I love
the crowd was totally out of this game. Nobody in that building seemed to be like at all caring about this game. And and I don't blame the fans, because it's up to the team to show up. You can't allow yourself to get beat up like this. I feel like Darko let stretches go for way too long without calling a timeout.
Yeah.
Do you remember that play where Scottie got that dunk? That big explosive dunk. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
In fact, I will hang on. Let me just pull it up. I'm actually show it. We didn't do the film session. Yeah.
Is that the putback or the alley-oop?
It was this one. Hold on. It was this one. It was this right here. So this play right here. Score is 15-25. Do you know what happened right after this dunk?
Timeout.
Immediate.
Yep, I saw that.
They were up 10. It went to 8. And JB Bickerstaff's like, nope, no momentum. Not on the road. We're not fucking around. That is a team that came in with a plan. Okay. So, and I mean, look, like this is a we fucked up. Look at this. They just let Scottie go into the paint. Dennis Jenkins right there. Everybody just watching. And Scottie just, he was the biggest guy in the paint, and he scored. And I guess JB Bickerstaff gave his team an earful, saying, whoa, someone got to put a body on him. I just feel like we bumped into a tougher team tonight.
For sure.
Yes.
And there's nothing
at the beginning of this game, they got every loose ball. Like every missed shot. I've never seen a game where literally like one of their players would brick a floater, and like every single time it went to one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That we got our asses kicked tonight, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're far superior. We're not supposed to be contending right now.
I disagree. I don't think they're far superior.
They're not far superior, bro.
I don't believe in the Pistons.
F9 comment.
They've put like a great team around Cade, and they're look at where they are in the standings. Technically, yeah, they're contenders. Now, how far they'll go in the playoffs, who knows? Because Cade last year was awful. So, but they're right now, just as regular season teams, they're way ahead of us. They're far superior.
Okay, Red Salute. How would you stop this play?
Hold on a second. I need to turn around.
What would you change about this?
I need to maximize this too. Hold on.
I mean, Yak's in no man's land.
Well, First of all, get Jakob off the court. Get him off the court. He's not like he shouldn't have played tonight. He should have come back after the All-Star break.
But this is a coaching issue. Look at how high we're picking this up. Why are we allowing this coverage to be at 28 feet? We are allowing so much real estate. There's no rim protection behind. Now right here, if Jakob Poeltl is indeed going to be playing this high, then somebody needs to get back. Somebody needs to be able to contest this at the rim. And RJ is staying home. But look at how this play is designed here. Neither Brandon Ingram nor RJ Barrett are at luxury to leave their man. And the only guy who could technically even remotely leave his man is Emmanuel Quickley, who is technically in no man's land as well. So at this point, does Quickley need to maybe consider tagging here? But he's offering no resistance. Paul Reed's going to go right through him, at which point Jakob Poeltl's job would be to close out to the corner when Ausar Thompson. The Raptors didn't make Ausar Thompson a shooter tonight. Did they? They didn't dare Cade to take a shot. Yeah.
Well, first of all, Yak is pulling an RJ right now. His awareness is just non-existent.
I don't think his awareness is non-existent. I genuinely think like they're trying to pressure on the ball, not realizing you don't have anybody in the paint. If Scottie is here, look, let's change one thing. Let's forget Scottie on Cade. Let's put Scottie where RJ is right now. Or let's put Scottie on Ausar Thompson and basically allow him to be a roamer the whole night to clean up everything he sees on the back end. And let's put RJ on Cade. Can we do that? No. So let's replace RJ with Andrew Wiggins. Now, can we do that? Yes. And that's the fucking point. That was the point of any talk of trade RJ for an upgrade at that spot, because this is the point. You can now do that. You can now, like, you're wasting Scottie. You're wasting Scottie here. Yeah, Scottie can force Cade to make some tough shots, make some misses, whatever, but you're just burning him out. Got him in foul trouble for no fucking reason because nobody in the starting lineup is a favorable matchup for Cade.
I don't like the coverage either. Yeah, I don't know why Yak's not watching Paul Reed. I don't like
Anthony Edwards does not have to guard Cade Cunningham. He has McDaniels, right? Shea does not have to guard Cade Cunningham. Now, Shea is leaps and bounds a pretty favorable matchup for Cade. I think Shea could do a pretty good job on Cade. I don't think he's winning that matchup, but I think he could do a good job on him. I think he could do a pretty good job on him. But he has Lou Dort. He has Alex Caruso. So this is where I say the best stretch of offensive basketball we've ever seen from Scottie Barnes was when he was next to OG Anunoby. He was scoring 22 points per game, 40% from three nearly, really efficient all around because he didn't have to burn himself out guarding the other team's best player every single night. It's a great thing that he can. Even Jordan needed Pippen. So if Scottie is in fact the player you're building around, I need you to put some defense around him. And I'm glad that they did draft, CMB. But now you have a complication, which is CMB, BI, and Scottie probably can't play together very much.
But Rob, you see in this play here in isolation, I don't know why Yak is so close, because Scottie wasn't in a compromised position here. He could have stayed with Cade. I don't know why Yak went to double here. He could have just stayed with his man, and all of that would have been for naught, right? I don't know.
But teams do
don't trust Scottie's defense.
But teams have schemes in place that they will try to trap a ball handler, try to contest the pass, and make the pass hard. But at that point, somebody needs to shut down the paint. Somebody needs to help the helper. So in this situation, if RJ rolls in to stop the Paul Reed open dunk, then it would be Jakob Poeltl's job to then go out to Tobias Harris on a closeout.
On a positive note, I think this game will be really good for them.
Yes, of course.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if we face this team, obviously no Duren and Stewart, 10 times, I think we win like 7 out of the 10. We didn't.
No.
I 100% believe that.
Way.
Cade shot unreal tonight. He's not a good 3-point shooter. This was the best shooting game of his career. Like, guys, it wasn't a talent issue.
I mean, it's an athleticism issue. It's a size issue. It's a toughness issue. It's a coaching issue. It is a talent issue.
Well,
for
no,
sure. Their
Duren and
best player
Stewart
was better than
No, Dern and Stewart were a far more talented team than this. Maybe not far, but we should have won this game on paper.
Well, unfortunately, games are not played on paper, my friend.
Rob, I have a problem here with this. Okay, so I don't want to be stuck on this one play, but this is kind of a microcosm of this whole team. They're running schemes defensively that don't make sense for their roster. I mean, what you described makes sense if they had the players that could play that. Like if we had Wiggins instead of RJ, we could run that scheme. But it doesn't make any sense, and that's the whole point. This is like a microcosm of the whole season. They're running plays for players that just don't fit, and this is a problem. And this is a coaching, this is a front office issue, like, you know, so that's kind of the thing that I was trying to point out. But anyway, whatever.
All right,
I
boys, should we
definitely see
just
it.
toss this season in the bin then?
No, this is like our first
It's pretty toxic.
winning season in which we've come back from rebuilding, and now we're like the young up and coming team. Like we're a good team, but we're not, we're not going to do much in the playoffs, and there's nothing, and that's fine. It's
Okay.
a process. It's just like Penn always says, this is a process, and I'm enjoying the shit out of it.
Look at
Just
this.
gotta have a
bro.
little patience.
Yeah. But in the process, Red Salute, we got to look at plays like this. Now, look,
Yeah.
here's a play where Emmanuel quickly is going to get the ball to Brandon Ingram. Ingram
Pass
is going to
right
make
away. Oh my god.
this pass needs to go right here, over immediately.
He just curled off the pick, so he knows where Trace Jackson Davis is. It shouldn't be like
And look
invisible.
at Trace. Look at Trace. Hand up.
Yeah.
Like, give it to me, Brandon Ingram. But Ingram is thinking, no, I'm getting trapped. Give it back to quickly.
Yeah.
Now, of course,
Yeah.
the excessive protection of the basketball is going to make the pass hard. But
They
the
guarded him
same
harder,
theory,
really hard though.
okay, but on the one hand, they are super smart for doubling Brandon Ingram, but we are super stupid for doubling Cade Cunningham. It cannot go both ways. The difference here is they are spotting advantages when we make mistakes. We are not spotting advantages when they're making mistakes. There's nothing stopping Brandon Ingram from making this pass right here. You're not doubled here. Asar's not even close to you. He's 10 feet away from you. The fact that you hold this allows him to get into this. Now, and his ability to get into this is only because they don't think that you're going to punish them with the pass here. Now, with Scottie, this is completely different because Scottie will never be double teamed here. And some analysts out there will say that that is a reason that Scottie is not better than Brandon Ingram or something. And that's cool. I get it. I could hear that argument. But the other thing about Scottie is that Scottie would never miss this pass to Trace Jackson Davis. Ever. That's an automatic. I'd be shocked I'm very shocked when Scottie misses passes like this because he knows that this is the easiest shot this offense is going to generate, and Tobias Harris is late. Again, Tobias is not a great defender, but he's much better than RJ Barrett. Like, whoa.
All Ingram should be working on in the gym is passing into double teams because his mid range is so good. Like that's all he needs to work on. Passing into double teams all day.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. It's so frustrating.
But like if he could do that consistently, like he would be so much better.
Yeah.
And Trace rolls well as well, so like there's opportunity there for sure.
And he jumps fast.
Yeah.
So there's not a chance in hell, and there's no rim protection here. Where's the rim protection? The rim protection is completely on Ingram right now.
It's got to be a
Both
bounce
guys-
pass because his arms bounce pass low.
Bounce pass? Hell
Oh,
no.
no,
You're not
no.
bounce
That's
passing
getting
this.
picked
This is a
off.
lob. You
No,
bounce
like
pass
in
this
that exact
one.
scenario with his hand up there.
Well,
Just dump
this-
it in there.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I could see that. It has to be really quick and on
You have
target.
to
I mean,
wrap it
That's what
around.
Doncic
him,
does all the time. Just
look, the Raptor, well, no disrespect to Brandon Ingram. He is not Luka Doncic,
I know.
but I don't think Cade could make that pass. I think Scottie would struggle with that pass. It's a very difficult pass to make. Jokic makes this pass immediately. Doncic makes this pass immediately. Chris Paul, James Harden, Trae Young. There's like 6 passers who make this pass before the double even comes. But most people would make that first pass. Not this pass, but this pass right here. Boom, boom, boom. And not to keep harping on this play, but this play is only created because look at how the offense is set up. You have one roller who can't shoot. That is the guy who ends up being open. So by the good graces of God. But do you see how much space Ingram has to actually attack this matchup. He has no space to attack this matchup because teams are able to overload the weak side of the court because Cade Cunningham and Duncan Robinson can sit so far into the paint because Jamal Shedd and RJ Barrett are not a threat to score.
Yeah.
The fact that this entire play I was just focusing, like my eyes were on BI and Trace Jackson, and then the other side of the court, I'm like, wait a minute.
And
Something's off.
here and let me and I'm glad that I did it.
They're all staring at Ingram.
Well, that's the point, because he has the basketball. But also, here is the wonderful part about this. The average fan is not sitting here staring at a freeze frame of a play, and you have been sitting at, most of y'all, give me a W in the chat if you noticed Cade with his foot in the paint being a problem on this play. Can y'all give me a W in this chat if that was your level of basketball IQ when you were watching this play? Or let's see, or maybe let me go the other way. Give me a W if you didn't notice it. How about that? Give me a W if you didn't notice that, and now that I'm bringing it up, you're like, shit, that is a fucking problem. Because the point is, when people watch these games in real time, they're not seeing this. Very few people have a trained eye that catches this right away. You need hundreds of hours to be able to see I'm going to say thousands of hours, quite frankly, playing the game, seeing the game, to be able to say, this is a spacing problem. Very often, the Boston Celtics will refuse. Why did Chris Boucher not play for the Boston Celtics? Did anyone figure that out?
He sucks.
Not a smart player.
Because he cannot shoot well enough to punish the double teams on Jaylen Brown. He cannot shoot well enough. He does not roll enough. He does not connect enough. He's not at that level of defense. He's not at that level defensively, and there are better players who do better things than him. Now, what if I told you 3 years ago when the Raptors had Chris Boucher on the books and everyone was trying to tell me that he might be a starter and he's great and whatever, that one day Jordan Walsh, who is currently in the G League and a nobody, would be beating him out for minutes? This is the point. You need players you need this exact situation on the court that we're looking at right now happens 100 times a game. 100 times a game. There are plays with, we could look at Scottie. There was a pull-up jump shot I think Scottie hit here. Okay, let's see. Scottie and BI. No, that was a dunk. That was great, actually. That was a great dunk. Where the hell is this? Okay, so here we go. This play right here. This is a great matchup, and I'm glad that Scottie decided to attack it. And right here, Cade is immediately in help. The Pistons have 5 players. 4 of them have feet in the paint. But people are mad at Scottie Barnes because he can't drive through this. Now, it's interesting because the Raptors have technically overloaded the other side of the court with shooters. So this is a favorable position, but there's no passing lane. Because at this point, they have just decided to flock in on him. There are 2 defenders with a third approaching from that corner, and Scottie just decides to navigate the space that he has and hit this jump shot. Right? But this is not the way that you want to be playing basketball. You want to be playing basketball where this dude right here, first of all, you want to play basketball with an advantage, with a tilted floor. Scottie's just advancing or trying to attack stagnant defenses right now. Brandon Ingram right here, what is he doing? He's trying to come through. He's just in the way. His man's in the way. Now he's thinking, like, should I come through? Should I not? This offense is just very, very disorganized. Very disorganized. It was poor execution. It was poor tempo. The Raptors at their best play with a lot of tempo. When the Raptors play with tempo, it's usually because Scottie Barnes pushes the tempo. I needed Scottie to push the tempo today. I needed Scottie to grab the ball. And you know what? It's hard to dribble against their pressure. It's really hard. So maybe this is the type of game that Scottie's going to have to say, okay, I hate this game. I hate what happened. But let me freeze this. And let me send this to Brian. And if I'm Scottie right now, I'm sending this to Brian and I'm saying, watch this game, break down everything I did wrong, send me notes on what the fuck I can improve, and let's spend all summer making sure that everything they did to me in this game never happens to me again. How they attack my dribble, how they, sag off my shooting, everything. I want to fix it all because I think Scottie got clean looks tonight. Almost every single shot. Look at how much space he has on the shot. Now, granted, it's Duncan Robinson. No one's writing home about Duncan's defense. This is clean. This is as open as it gets. This is the point at which Scottie is seeing the rim. He's not being flocked by 4 defenders. He's not. But if I showed you every shot that RJ took tonight, it's not clean. And that's not because RJ is better than Scottie. It's because Scottie generates this type of space through his size and athleticism. And this shot right here is what makes me think Scottie can be a superstar. If you look at all of Scottie's misses tonight, if anyone wants to go on Synergy or NBA.com, go watch every shot attempt that Scottie took tonight and tell me which one he missed and which one the Pistons stopped. There's maybe 2 shots that he missed tonight where I'm like, the Pistons stopped him from scoring. That was it. Money Meech is calling in. Money Meech, what's up, man? We got a lot of callers tonight. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
What's good, man?
Good, I'm good. Yeah, just wanted to make a point on what you said about Scottie pushing the pace, right?
Yep.
I believe he couldn't do that tonight just because he was guarding Cade, which alludes to your point about needing another athletic defender like Wiggins or. But when he like guards Mobley and more like big power forwards, he's able to grab the rebound and then he can push the pace.
Agreed. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think
Like starting bigger guys. Yeah.
Yeah, like and I think if you're
Rob,
gonna
you're cutting out.
I'm cutting out. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit, I'll be back.
Okay. So I think if Scottie is going to be the pace driver of your team, then you need to build with screeners and guard screeners in mind. None of your guards set effective screens. Brady is not an effective screener per se. RJ is not a willing or effective screener. I don't think Jacoby's big enough to set screens.
Yeah.
CMB kind of does this push thing when he screens. He's not a great screener. Best screeners on your team are Jakob Poeltl by far, and then Trace Jackson Davis, like 2 levels behind him. Other than that, you don't have great screen setters on this team. You ask Scottie Barnes and CMB to be great screen setters, but that's not their skill set. People found that out when they, tried to turn Giannis into a screener. Some people just aren't good at it. Screen setting is a skill set. The Raptors have had good screeners in the past. I think Bruce Brown, in theory at least, good screen setter. The Raptors need to prioritize this. This is a skill set that they need on this team because Scottie needs space to attack downhill.
It's another hole.
Absolutely.
Quickly to go back to
Can we say
defender.
Can we say fastly to avoid triggering PTSD on quickly possessions?
Oh no! I just wanted to go back to very quickly or briefly go back to
I do not like
defender.
IQ's processing at all.
And I don't know why we didn't pick up Keon Ellis. That was frustrating.
Yes, I would have loved Keon Ellis, and Keon is actually exactly the type of player we're talking about here for sure. Yeah,
and he's on a really cheap contract.
What it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is. Yes,
Wiggins is a great idea. I'm sold. We could definitely use him.
Well, it's too late now. Like we can't talk about this shit anymore.
Obviously, yeah. Like I meant for the summer. Like we should go after Wiggins. That's a great idea.
I just think it's shooting. I'm simple. Like we need shooting.
Yeah.
Like as shitty as a guy like Gary Trent Jr. was, like I know he had flaws in his game. Like I miss that kind of like consistent. Like you get him an open look, like it's most likely going in. Like we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, in theory, like
Mamu's good.
Yeah. And again, like I think if I'm looking at this from a glass half full perspective, I am starting to understand that Bobby Webster is very results oriented and not very process oriented. I'm the type of person that could have a 48 win team and still blow it up, and I wouldn't give a shit if I just didn't trust it. I don't think that Bobby Webster will blow up a 48 win team. So
this is what I was gonna say. Like even looking at the summer, I don't think he's gonna make moves like that.
Well, maybe we won't be a 48 win team. Maybe we'll be embarrassed in the playoffs, and that'll force changes. Or maybe we're like a 6 seed because it's like, okay, so this is a more like a Drake criticism. Wait, are y'all Drake fans?
No.
Anyone up here a Drake fan?
No, not me.
Wow, we found 6
I
people.
mean, I appreciate what he does for the city sometimes.
Okay, well, Money Meech, you are in the minority right now. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. No, Drake's cool. But I think Drake is the epitome of. Okay, sorry, someone's audio is cooked.
Yeah.
I think it's Money Meech. It's you, man. You're see the Drake supporter fucking everything up, man. I'm kidding, man. Your audio was cooked for literally like 5 minutes and just kept ignoring it until you exposed yourself as a Drake supporter. Yeah, it is you. It's you. We're gonna just mute you. It is you.
Aubrey.
Yep. It's that Aubrey thing. So Drake is the epitome of, if I can present it as such, then it is such. The reality of it doesn't matter. We had a conversation today on the panel about whether Wemby should have gone for like 80 or 90 against, the Lakers yesterday. And I was like, no, that's gross. That was the G League Lakers. That's Bronny James and Drew Timme. I don't want to see Kobe Bryant's record broken against that team. That would be disgusting, right? But a lot of people are like, but it'd be fun to watch. Why would it be fun to watch? Why is it fun to watch someone pummel someone who's not even in their weight class? Why is that fun to watch for people? Because 90 points is 90 points? Why is it fun to come into a Pensare basketball chat and be like, yo, Cam Thomas, 34 points, and then I have to fucking send you to Cam H? Why is that fun? Why is it that way? I think it's because people really, really care about results. They really care about the results. And 91 points is a result. And 34 points is a result. And 48 wins is a result. But is there any, just like Drake's fucking abs are a result? They're a result. But they're an optical illusion. But they're a result. Proudly. Ghostwriting. Ghostwriting is fucking embarrassing. Hiring ghostwriters and presenting shit as your own work is embarrassing. If I write a script and I put my name to a script, you better believe I fucking wrote that script. There ain't no way. You could have Tolstoy come back from the dead and be like, Rob, I will write you a script. And I'll be like, go fucking back to go to hell. No way. That's pride. That's professional pride. So the process must matter above all else. I believe you have to be obsessed with the process. The best general managers are obsessed with process. Brad Stevens, Sam Presti, Danny Ainge, frankly, they're all obsessed with the process of team building, not the results of team building. They don't live and die by results. I believe Bobby Webster lives and dies by results. I believe that he could not like a roster, and then if that roster wins 48 wins, by some miracle, because everyone's injured and you have freak miracle luck, he'll just be like, okay, it's a 48-win team now.
So Rob, like, I know you would have probably preferred we tanked earlier, right? Like, there's times we could have built up a lot better. Like, those times have passed now. And then the next few years, even this summer, I'm like, they're not going to build the way we would have wanted them to build. And they're not going to do it now because they're too far along. You know what I mean? So are we just going to build around the margins? Like, this is what I mean. The next few years even don't look like we're going to get a high draft pick. It's just going to be one of those, like, vultures, like you talk about. Like, we got to be vultures. We got to win around the margins and then hope someone pops off somehow. It's a lot of hoping, honestly.
Well, if we fall into the play-in, if we did fall into the play-in, and we stumbled into the playoffs, we would presumably have like a top 16 pick, right?
That'd be awesome.
And I don't really think getting a top 16 pick in this draft would be the worst thing in the world. I think you can still sell on hope. Look, we were a 30, we were on pace for 48 wins or 50 wins, and then this disastrous thing happened and we had an 8-game losing streak. Look, man, like, if you're a Raptor fan and you listen to the audio broadcast, when Jack Armstrong gets the call from, Daddy, the powers that be, and they say, we need an excuse, sir. And he starts talking about trap games, and he starts talking
I literally lowered the volume today because when he, like, I think it was first quarter, 10 points up, they go, oh, you got to give credit to the Pistons. Oh, shut up.
He was glazing.
No, shut up.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it because I knew because it had come so early in the game. I was like, yo, oh my God, he's going to go on like this for 30 more minutes.
Everyone who watched the first 6 possessions of this game knew this game was over before it started. I literally would have bet my house on it. Like
I got a text from the boys chat like 10 minutes in. Oh, the Pistons came to play, and I was like, no, please. And I turned it on.
We didn't come to play. But my point is this obsessive desire to present results as facts is why people get so tripped up on beating the OKC Thunder. It's a game. That's why people get so tripped up on Scottie Barnes' preseason. Again, it's preseason. The same people who were saying Scottie Barnes is worse than Cam Thomas in preseason, or Jonathan Kuminga, or so-and-so and so-and-so, are the same people saying right now he should be DPOY. Where the hell did all of this change? I'm just saying, like, I understand adapting a view based on new information. I believe that that's healthy. But can we stop going through 10s and 1s? Can we oscillate between 7s and 4s? Can we go between 7 and 5? Yeah, you know what? There have been moments, I look back on my takes and I'll be like, there have been moments where I've been a lot higher on RJ Barrett, and there have been moments where I've been a lot lower on him. I've never called him like a superstar, and I've never called him a G League player. Like, it's an oscillation between he fits or maybe he's not a great fit. He's oscillating between 4th starter and 6th man at all times. All times.
Mm-hmm. I think right? Like your mental health's in place. You know what I mean? Like
our brains were not designed. Our brains were not designed for this. Can you imagine our ancestors waking up every day and being like calling day night and night day and being like, that's a bear. Well, no, it looks like a moose. No, it's a bear. They go crazy.
Yeah, like, roller coasters are fun though. You know, I think that's why they're like people like Will Liu and them. Like I like his enthusiasm where he does appeal to that audience that does go super high then super low, and then people watch and to just see him crash out. Right? That's appealing.
Casuals.
Look, I guess no. Like this part's very healthy.
It's the casual show for casuals.
Look, I refuse to hold this team to the standard of, you know, my grade 11 math student. Okay. I'm not going to do that shtick. Okay. We need to be tougher. Cool. But like, we need to be, you know, we need to study harder, and we need to be embarrassed by the grade that we just got. This is the point. I believe that human beings are we are pattern obsessed people. Almost all of us. We are pattern obsessed. We turn on our phone, something good happens, we pick up our phone some more. If every single time you picked up your phone, every third time it zapped you, I guarantee you your cell phone addiction will go away really fast. Because something would be breaking the rhythm. But nothing breaks the rhythm. You use your phone for everything. It's a calculator, it's an alarm clock, it's a calendar, it's everything. It's your social fucking connection to the whole world. Everything you are neurologically wired to need in your life is available on this device. Why would you not be obsessed with it? Why would you not panic every single time you couldn't find it? It's designed, but that's the pattern recognition. We have patterns in our brains, scanning for threats and whatever. And I'm not going to create a fucking threat every single time the Raptors lose a game. I think that's toxic, personally.
Yeah.
I think that's
definitely toxic.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I'm certainly not planning a parade every time they win one, because that's equally toxic.
Yeah.
I did not deviate on Fred VanVleet when he had 20 and 20. People were very mad about that. People were like, you can't even give him credit on 20 and 20. I'm like, he stat padded his way to 2020. What the fuck do you want from me? He did it on purpose. There were clips of him getting mad at Pascal Siakam in a blowout win for not immediately converting his pass to an assist and passing it out. That's bad basketball. That is not basketball that I support, because the process is wrong. It's just like taking defensive plays off. I am not going to, look the other way when Scottie doesn't get back on defense. I'm going to be upset about it, because I was upset about it with Pascal, and I'm going to be upset about it with DeMar. I'm not letting Pascal off the hook or Scottie off the hook for the same shit that I was roasting Pascal for. If Scottie came out tonight and he was just like, my teammates need to be better, I promise you, as God is my witness, I would be the first person to say, no, motherfucker, you need to be better too. Don't do that to your teammates, because that's what Fred VanVleet did.
He doesn't do that often, eh? Like
he would never.
Scottie.
He doesn't
No,
do
he's
that.
never. No, he
He
doesn't
doesn't do that. I don't think he's never done that.
Yeah.
He's never done that.
I
But
feel like
that's
he's
my
almost
point.
like waiting for. He knows what's coming in the next few years. You know,
that's,
like
but that's the point. The point here is the double standards. I can't call Scottie like great for something and then ignore when somebody else does it. I can't call Brandon Ingram an asshole for something and then ignore when Scottie does it. There has to be some sort of consistent bar. Otherwise, I have to just walk in with a disclaimer. I am biased Raptor fan number 2. Okay.
We know you're not. We know you. Everyone knows you're super consistent.
Well,
everyone knows it.
I try to be. But the thing is here that we have had broadcasters for years who hold different players to different standards. Again, RJ Barrett is a basketball player. He is an athletic, basketball player who was once deemed the best player in his draft class. I believe that I have a right to hold RJ Barrett to account for achieving the defensive potential that he is capable of. That does not mean that I get to be mad at RJ Barrett for not being Scottie Barnes. That also doesn't mean that I get to be mad at RJ Barrett for not being offensively what Brandon Ingram is. And you have to just hold people accountable for what they are. And I don't think the Raptors are as bad as they were tonight. I think Scottie can be more assertive. So I hold him accountable for being more assertive. But if he was more assertive, it'd be crazy to hold him accountable for something he didn't do. I'm not holding him too accountable for the defense stuff because I do think he tried very hard defensively. But I do think he could rebound more. I do think he can push the pace more. I do think he can command the ball more. Brandon Ingram, I think he can get off the ball sooner. RJ Barrett, I think he could attack better. And maybe move off the ball a little bit faster and maybe be a better defender and maybe be a little bit more help conscious and more alert. And Emmanuel Quickly, I think he could definitely help with the pace pushing. There's a lot. I'm actually gonna
I think we could beat this team. I'm very confident.
We could beat you think you could beat this team?
So I think this team matches up better with us than a team like the Celtics, to be honest.
With Tatum or without Tatum? How is this being
with Tatum? That's yeah.
Well, Tatum's coming back.
Yeah,
like next week. So no, I think the Celtics present great problems for us, man.
Exactly. But like I think
who the hell is guarding Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, nobody. But they've always presented problems with us because they shoot it so well.
Their drive. But see, there's the thing. They present problems not necessarily because they shoot it so well, because they do shoot it well, and you're right. But their shooters are not one-dimensional. Peyton Pritchard can put the ball in the court.
Oh my god, I hate that guy. Freaking torches
right?
us
He cooks every time.
Yeah.
So Peyton Pritchard is not a one-dimensional shooter.
He's the kryptonite.
Derek White is not a one-way player. He can shoot. This season he hasn't shot well. Jason Tatum is not a one-dimensional shooter. Their shooters do more than shoot.
Yeah.
Our shooters don't even shoot. I remember the funniest meme that I've seen about the Raptors this year is like, bro, we got 14 shooting guards and none of them can shoot.
Yeah, that's awful.
That's kind of funny. I don't know. Look, I have to hold Darko accountable for this loss. Absolutely. I think the team mentally was not ready for this game. I really don't. And I hope that there was not kumbaya vibes in the locker room after this game. Yeah. I hope people were pissed off.
Can I say something that's really concerning?
Absolutely, AG. What's up?
I just noticed, and it's not from anything that you guys have been saying. It's a pretty good conversation. It's just what I'm noticing overall, like in terms of sentiment in the media and the fan base. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a lot of narrative switching here, and it's really pissing me off. Why? It's because in the beginning, in the offseason, it was painted as we got Brandon Ingram, we're healthy, we're starting, we want to start to win. And we have an expectation to make the playoffs. Okay. Now, listening to this game, I'm hearing Jack Armstrong talk about, this Pistons team is where the Raptors are where the Pistons were last year, and there's a lot of growing pains and all this bullshit. So they're rewriting the script and the narrative, right? Because obviously their GM stinks and he doesn't know how to build a team properly around their best player, and so they're trying to make the casual fans. They're trying to adjust their mindset to accept.
I think you're overreacting vastly.
That's what they're. Well, hold on. Let me make my point. So they're trying to shift the narrative and make people understand like this team is not as good as we thought. They're actually, this was actually a learning season, and they're switching the narrative, and I don't like it. It's like, if you said you're going to be a great team this year, you said you want to make the playoffs, you said you want to compete in the East. then stand on that. Making no moves and getting Trace Jackson Davis. I'm sorry, that's pathetic.
Yeah, but AG,
Can I interject?
Whoa, what you're doing though?
Hold on. Isn't it fair to say, AG, that they didn't say that we're going to come out and win a championship this year, just that we are ready to start winning?
I never said that though. You guys
but they are winning though.
But also, Darko said
they're not competitive. Hold on, guys. They're not competitive against the top 5 teams in the East. So why are we lying to ourselves? Like,
they didn't say they were going to be.
Whoa.
But Darko said from training camp, it's still a building process. He never said anything. They tried to feed him that
Bobby
too.
in his press conference
they
after
said they
the
weren't
trade,
going to compete this year. They got Brandon Ingram.
Their over under in July was 40 games.
No, Darko said
their over under was 40 games. Nobody.
Darko said this is year 2 of the building. That's what he said, quote unquote.
Exactly.
Training camp.
They said they're going to make a playoffs this year.
That's what Ingram said.
Yeah, they're still going to do that.
But that's what Ingram said. But the head coach
Scottie
Darko
said that too.
Scottie said that. All the best players said that.
Okay,
I'm just saying what the head coach said. The head coach said
they are gonna make the playoffs though. I don't understand the point. Like they are gonna make the playoffs. They won't do well. Like sure, and Bobby knows that. Bobby said that in the trade deadline.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their
press conference as well. They were like,
in July, their over under was 40.
Hang on 1 second. We are ignoring the giant elephant in the room. This team made a very legitimate attempt to trade for Derek White. Very legitimate.
This year.
Yep.
This offseason, past offseason. Wow. Okay. This team drafted multiple rookies on the basis that, at least partially on the basis that they were more NBA ready than others. I don't see how you could possibly see CMB, Elijah Martin, Chucky Hepburn, and not see that NBA readiness was a really big part of how the Raptors did their draft eval this year. This is not just about picking the best player 5 years from now. These were trying to get guys who can actually play right now. So I have to look at this and say, this team expected to probably make a surprise push for the playoffs. Maybe they didn't expect to be 31 games at this point, 31 wins. But I think they expected to be a roughly 500 team that would compete for maybe 5th seed, 6th seed. And
do you know what their odds were?
Yes, I remember. I remember it was 37.
I locked that shit in.
37.5 in, I want to say, June. And then after July or August, when the momentum started to build up, they moved up to 38.5, 39.5. They never got higher than 39.5 in the preseason. And then I think when they came out 3-1, it dropped back to 37 or 38. I tracked this very carefully because I'm very curious to see what
I bet
Vegas.
$500 on it.
Well, I mean, that's easy money for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I locked in Scottie DPOI at 401 to 1.
Wow.
Wemby's got to sit 3 more games.
$6,000.
Wemby's got a what now?
Wemby's got to sit 3 more games for us to be in that conversation.
I'm very much hoping.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
65 games, I believe, is the.
I have such complicated thoughts about sports betting.
So I won't comment anymore. But I'm just saying, I hope he doesn't play like. I think it's 65 games is the minimum.
Yeah.
Scottie deserves it. He's been the best overall defender all year. It's been,
well, if Wemby gets injured, then Chet does not deserve over.
I agree. Scottie's been the best, hands down, across the league.
And then Rudy, come on, he's won enough. Get him out of here.
Also, what's the Vegas expansion team called then?
I don't know.
The male aces.
The degenerates.
Vegas unders.
Degenerates.
Seriously.
Do you think he's going to win it, though, if Wemby gets injured?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I think they'll give it to Chet.
They'll give it to Chet, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be biased for sure.
Fuck.
Yeah. Anyways, Mr. Reed, Money Meech, AG, Red Salute, Lyra, any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, I wanted to say the film study while having folks on call. That was super engaging. So that was a cool experience. It was educational. So yeah, thanks for having that. And yeah, even the environment that we've set up here, is super fun. So yeah, thanks for having that.
I'm glad that we were able to be a little bit funny today, as opposed to super downtrodden. And I don't know if I crossed the line with the Cam H joke. I wasn't trying to make light of mental health. I'm very hip to the very real realities of mental health, having had quite a few mental health issues myself throughout my life. So yeah. I hope that no one took offense to that. But yeah. Anyways, any other final thoughts, Scott?
Yeah, I just want to say I appreciate what you're doing. I tune in. This is my first time calling it, but I tune in regularly. And yeah, keep the stuff, keep the good work.
Dope, man. Thanks a lot for calling in, man. Peace. All right, peace, Money Meech, Lyra, Red Salute, Mr. Reed, AG. Salute, brother.
Peace out, man.
All right. Final thoughts. The Toronto Raptors are a good basketball team. Okay. How we define good is there's 30 teams in the league, and regularly we can beat at least 16 of them, I think. When it comes to those top 14, though, there is another gear that the Toronto Raptors need to get to. And I don't think that gear is going to come with like half a season of experience. I think that gear is going to come with a major step from Scottie, a major the key van is saying speak. Okay, on your thoughts about Dick getting all this PT. I think the Raptors need to preserve the asset. I think I said it in a previous live that I think this is more of an asset farming team than a real basketball team at this point. A real basketball team would have solved the who's going to guard Cade so that we can unlock Scottie, stuff. I think the Raptors are wasting a really great defensive year from Scottie. And I mean, having watched some really great wing defenders, these years don't come back. Scottie's ready to play for championships right now. I want to be clear about that. Maybe not as the best player on the championship team. I'll give you that. But the Raptors have an obligation because they have a player who's locked in for the next 5 years, and he's ready to start winning right now. Unfortunately, because of all the mistakes you've made in this stupid ass, the last 4 years, mistakes that I vehemently fought against, mistakes that I very much foresaw. Those mistakes are now costing you years off of that window to open up. Now, the Toronto Raptors are having their cake and eating it too, because they are indeed going to open up the process of starting their climb to the top of the Eastern Conference. But unfortunately for everybody in here, that climb is a 3-year climb. And there's very few exceptions in NBA history when it's not a 3-year climb. It's a 3-year climb for San Antonio. They were good last year. They fell apart because of Wemby's health. They're better this year. They'll take some playoff lumps. They'll probably win a championship in 2 years. That's the process. It happens for everybody. It's going to happen for us too. Okay? You just have to be patient. I hate to say it. It's not a sexy thing to say. It's not going to make me go viral. I can just imagine. Guy goes viral for telling fan base to be patient. Darko's right. This is the second year of a rebuild. Is he politicking it? Yes. Could he do a better job coaching it? Yes. Do I wish RJ Barrett was on another team right now? Sure. All those things can be true. Do I think that I'd feel a lot more comfortable going into the playoffs this year if we had already traded RJ Barrett for the wing of the future and maybe parked out a first round pick? Yeah, sure. I'd be a lot happier with it because now we're building continuity into that. But I believe the Raptors are probably going to be the most aggressive this summer. I am assuming that they're looking at this as let's go win so that our assets are worth a little bit more, one less year on their contracts, so that our bad assets are worth a little bit more around the league. Let's wait for other teams to get more desperate. Let's change the optics around our team. Okay, cool. Now Brandon Ingram is an all-star. So now this summer, when teams come calling and you're negotiating Derek White, Mikal Bridges, or whoever matches your team better, now you can say, but Brandon Ingram is an all-star. The most important thing for the Raptors is that the Toronto Raptors are not the only organization that is very results-oriented. I want you to think about how you felt when the Raptors traded for Bruce Brown. I want you to think how you felt when the Toronto Raptors brought in Otto Porter. By the way, I was there with you on the Otto Porter thing. Otto Porter was absolutely medically cooked before he showed up to the Warriors. He was distraught. He had signed for a minimum contract with the Warriors. He had one good year with the Warriors where he was relatively healthy in a very limited role, and his analytics were great, as they always are with Otto, because he's a relatively mistake-free player who's very good at basketball. And he was able to parlay that into a 2-year deal with the Raptors that was regretted almost immediately as his health fell apart. But how did you feel about Otto Porter coming in? That's that guy that was that top 3 pick. That's a result. That's not a process. That's a result. He cooked in the playoffs for years. That's history. Also a result. That's a guy who just won a championship. That's also a result. Bruce Brown, how's that? Bruce Brown, how'd you feel when we got Bruce Brown? That's the guy who was this awesome contributor on a championship team in Denver. That's why he got paid. So how much people get paid in free agency is a nice reflection of what they might be worth on the trade market. And it's kind of like how Malik Beasley was just kind of like this nothing burger until he became the biggest reason for the Pistons turnaround last year. When guys don't play, when guys play on losing teams, they lose value because their numbers suffer, because losing context hurts your numbers. It always does. It almost always does. Scottie right now, his value, I mean, if you were to ever trade him, is so much higher than it was 2 years ago, coming off his first All-Star. So much higher. So much higher. There are teams out there that would, I mean, you saw the offer for Desmond Bane, OG Anunoby. I don't think people want to understand the value of a Scottie Barnes right now in the open market. I think you can get 6 first-round picks for him if you wanted to trade him. You're not going to trade him because if you did trade him, what the fuck are you doing as an organization? Nothing. You can't be results-oriented, but I think the best results come to general managers who are process-oriented in a league that is heavily results-oriented. I'll give you an example. It's possible that a guy wins a championship as a 5th starter, but your analysis of that player suggests to you that he actually didn't contribute very much to that championship at all. That you can distance the signal and noise of that situation because the signal is one thing and the noise is the championship. The signal is this guy shot 38% from the signal is this guy shot 40% from 3. Ochai Agbaji is a perfect example. Ochai Agbaji shot 40% from 3 last year. Y'all remember it? Okay, cool. A lot of people this summer came on this show and were very hype about the idea of Ochai Agbaji potentially being signed for, and I think the craziest number I heard was $60 million for 3 years. $60 million for 4 years? So $15 million a year for a guy we just completely dumped for, and we had to pay a pick to get off of. That was $15 million a year. You see how these mistakes can be made, right? Jordan Poole is a great example, Mark. That's a great example. So you look at it this way and you say, how do I avoid that trap? Well, scrutinize your first idea until you arrive at a better second idea, then scrutinize your second idea until you arrive at a better third idea, and then keep scrutinizing without bias until you get to a really great 25th idea. Ochai Agbaji was a 40% three-point shooter. Did you look at the threes that he took? Did you look at the complexity of his role? Do you believe that a G League average player can replace what Ochai Agbaji did? Do you look at perhaps, let me give you an example. The better you get as a basketball team, the more teams try to beat you. The more teams prepare for you. The further you go into a season, the more teams scheme through you. Every year we see a surprise team jump out to a 14-4, 6-2, 8-3 record. And people are like, oh, is that team going to be a playoff team? And it's like, no, they're not. Golden State was up double digits against San Antonio today. That's a result. The result is 3 quarters in, they were beating the shit out of the Spurs. I looked at that score on my phone while everyone was talking, and I'm like, the Spurs are going to come back and win this game. I'm not even watching it. But that is a feeling that I have that the Spurs are not about to lose this game. First game going to All-Star weekend. They're so much more talented. There's no fucking way they're losing this game. Now, I'm not right a lot of the time, but I'm saying that's the point. The point here is that you have to distance that emotion that makes you think, panic. It's not a panic. Because the truth is, There's a rubber band effect in sports, just like there's a rubber band effect in everything. You're not just going to move at one pace forever. Nothing does. No car moves at one pace forever. When you go down a slide, there's dips and valleys in how fast you go up and down that slide, right? There's a super fast and then a super slow and then a super fast again, right? That's how it goes. So when you're a basketball team and you come out the gate and you're blowing everyone out or whatever, teams adjust. They scout more. They scout your favorite play. They scout the best players. They scout your pet actions and they force you to your counters. If you're a great team, you probably have that in mind already. And now you deliver your counters. And so they go back to the scouting room and now they scout your counters. So you come up with counters to your counters. And then eventually we get to the playoffs. And now we've seen 82 games of your team play basketball. And I know everything you're going to do before you even think about it. And now we go into the playoffs and you reveal your real playbook. Perfect. Now you're adding new wrinkles. You're trying lineups you've been saving in the holster. Oh, that's going to throw people off. You're trying trick plays that you hadn't designed, and they're super top secret, and that super awesome assistant coach from Siberia came up with it, and it's like this great play that people haven't used in 35 years. It's the box and one, whatever. And it's a fucking high school play. Okay, cool. And now you go game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, game 5, and you run out of adjustments. And now you are in a game 6, or better yet, you're in a game 7. 3 team. Typically, when you end up in a game 7, the 2 teams are really close. And you're out of adjustments. You're out of counters. And it's just a fight. It's just a fight, yo. It's just, I want it more. And I hate to, it's such a cliche to say, I just want it more. They just wanted it more. They wanted it more. They want it because they wanted it more. Sometimes that's exactly it. Kawhi Leonard described that shot that he hit against Philadelphia, and he said, my legs were tired. The last couple of jumpers have been short. Kawhi had taken, I think, 42 shots in that game and missed a ton of them, by the way. Prior to that, he'd carried them through 7 grueling games. Vince wound up in the exact same situation against the Sixers in 2001. 7 games. Tough, physical, hard-fought series. Legs are fucking dead. Do you want it? Do you not? That's it. That's all it comes down to. Do you want it or do you not? And that extra flexion on your hands, that extra arc that he put, gave the Raptors a championship because he wanted it. He believed it. He saw it and he wanted it and he took it. And Embiid, I'm sure he beat himself up all summer because you found out something about Joel Embiid that day. He ain't built for game 7s. James Harden, you find that out every year. Counter, stinker, every year. Games like this expose what you need. They are not a death sentence. They are not a reason to crash out. They're not a reason to burn your Raptor jersey. They're not a reason to go streaking. They're not a reason to call in with your shirt off. They're not a reason to yell at me and say, but you told me this team would be a 50-win team. What the fuck? And they're not a reason to demand that Bobby West should be fired because he didn't trade a first-round pick for DeMontis Sabonis. They're not a reason to, slander Scottie Barnes and say, how dare you, miss the 32.5 on my parlay. Man, that's not normal. This is not normal reaction. Y'all going fucking crazy. That's not a normal reaction to this. I think a normal reaction is to simply say, find this out now when no one cares. How many people you think watched this game? Nobody watched this game. This was like one of the least entertaining games on tonight. Nobody cared. This is Thursday. No panel episode tomorrow. That's great. I don't have to listen to this bullshit tomorrow. That's great. That's good. I'm sure they'll talk about it on Friday, how Cade put belt to ass on my favorite team. But nobody cares. But if you do this in the playoffs, and that's the first time you feel pressure, I said prior to this game, I am the one person in Toronto right now who is not happy that Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart are missing this game. Because ass whoopings are good for you. I'm not giving you parental advice. Do not take this as a reason to go and beat your children. I'm saying, in general, getting punched in the face is great for you. Can I share a story with y'all? I had a roommate who was my best friend, one of my best friends. We had some, we were like brotherly love. And we had some tough times, man. And after my mom died, he became my roommate, my only roommate. I don't want to live with anybody else that I didn't know. And I'd known this dude for years. We'd come up together a little bit. You know, since I was 14, 15, I used to call him like a big brother to me. But he had an issue with rent sometimes. He wouldn't come through. And quite frankly, I was going through some hard times too. I didn't keep track of it. And then sometimes I'd notice like 3 or 4 months I paid. Like, shit, bro, you ain't paid rent in 4 months. So I would get upset about it. Eventually we made up, you know, figured it out, let bygones be bygones, realized that, you know, nearly 8 years, 9 years of friendship was not worth throwing away over money. And we ended up becoming roommates again at my current place. And then he started to, you know, date this girl. And then they suddenly, you know, she was also my roommate and he was my roommate. And then I'm noticing that my 2 roommates are now dating and they want to move in together. So they give me like no notice on this, kind of blindsided me with it. And I was very upset. And I started saying some shit that I definitely should not have said. I was saying shit like, you just selfish, you just thinking about yourself. And he kept giving me warnings like, stop, bro, stop. You're going too far. Just stop. And I didn't stop. I'm like, nah, man, you always do this. You're just being a bitch, blah, blah, blah. You ever cross the line with somebody you shouldn't fuck with? Now, here's something I didn't tell you about my friend. My friend is probably the scariest dude that you ever met in your life. Is the last person in the world you would ever want to be in a fight with. Could probably, like, if I told you stories about this dude, like, I don't even feel comfortable sharing stories, but I'm not sharing a name, so I feel like I'm okay sharing a story. I remember one time I brought this dude to a frat house. Okay, now I was part of a fraternity at U of T. My friend and I grew up in government housing together. Not exactly like kind of like a little bit of worlds colliding shit, but he's a good dude. He's a good person. So I was like, whatever. He comes to the party. We're all having fun, whatever. This dude comes up and he wants to get into the party. And we're saying, nah, bro, we got like 400 girls in here. There's like 200 guys in here. That's our cap. We like to maintain a 1-to-2 ratio. Y'all might think that's sexist or some weird shit, but we have a house that can house about 600 people. We're not letting in any more guys. So we told him, like, we're not letting in more guys. So he starts throwing money at us. He's like, oh, like $30, $40, $50. And he's big dude. He's like 6'4", 6'5". And he started getting really pushy, you know, with the people that were up front. Like, nah, let me in, bro. I want to get in. It's a party. Y'all discriminating, blah, 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 blah. So my buddy comes out because he hears conflict. He comes out. He comes out and he says, what's the problem? He's like, bro, I wasn't talking to you. My friend's about 5'11". We're around about the same height. Dude, this guy said one thing wrong to him. He said, the fuck you gonna, he said, I wasn't there, so I only got the story secondhand from every person who saw it. He said, what are you gonna do? He's like, get out. My friend told him to please leave. And he said, what, you gonna make me? What are you gonna do about it? And he came up to him and he was a foot away. And that was the end of that dude. That dude hit the pavement so hard. One punch, one deck, boom, out like a light. Dude slept like a baby. And everyone's just like, oh, motherfucker. Oh, everyone's, and I'm hearing this because I wasn't even there. I'm coming out. I'm like, oh, damn. I'm hearing, oh. I'm like, I know my friend's involved in this shit, you know? Oh, you can't bring people from the hood anywhere, yo. So I come out and I see this dude laying down. And I'm just like, did he deserve it? And he just looks at me and he's like, yeah, he deserved it. I'm like, all right, whatever, fuck it. You know? So we move on. So this friend is the one that I am telling that he's a bitch and that he's being selfish and blah, 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 blah. And he decked me. Not hard, not in a way that was meant to hurt me, but in a way that was meant to remind me that I am not him. I am not in a position that I can talk this much shit to another man without getting punched in the face. Okay? I was so fucking pissed. And he just left. And he punched me, got on top, gave me a couple boom, 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 like 3, 4, 5 in the face. And then he just left. I ain't never seen him again. That was a 9-year friendship. That is the weirdest fucking way to end this live. But let me tell you something. That was so good for me. That was so good for me. I was being a total fucking pain in the ass. And I needed somebody to just hit me in the face. I needed someone to just smack me a little bit and just be like, bro, get off it. You can't talk to people like this. You know? That may not be very liberal of me to say. That may not be it. That may not be like very PC of me to say, but hey, man, it's my show. I'm gonna say what I want, and that's what I feel. I feel like that was probably pretty good for me. I think I've taken a lot of ass whoopings as a kid that weren't very good for me, and those were very counterproductive, in my opinion. But that one, I was totally out of pocket, and quite frankly, I was damn near asking for it. I was almost like baiting him to do it. I was just like, nah, you don't do anything. You're my friend. Boom, punched. Don't talk anymore. I regret that very much. I wish, sometimes I'll he'll come up as a friend suggestion on Facebook or something, and he has a kid now, and I'll think about it. I'm like, man, I should reach out to him and just apologize for that day, because he never even like fucking texted me and be like, I'm sorry, I punched you in the face. Let's go grab a beer. It never happened. I thought about it, a couple times. I was just like, maybe I should reach out to him and just say, my bad, yo, I was out of pocket, and then he can say, but I'm just like, you know what? Just let it go. Let it go. It was great. People don't have to last in your life forever. But it taught me a very valuable lesson. Get punched in your face. Get punched in your face, and it's cool. It's okay. It's okay once in a while to get punched in the face, because it reminds you, what the hell did I do to put myself here? I wonder sometimes that dude who started charging up on us outside and being like, let me in, and got punched in the face. I wonder if his whole life turned around. I wonder if he went to dental school the next day and be like, yo, I gotta fucking make a change, man. I can't be getting knocked out in the cold like a bitch. Like, I wonder if he made a change in his life, right? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he's dumb as fuck. But it should prompt some introspection, if nothing else. Getting popped in the mouth should prompt some introspection. Getting suspended should prompt some introspection. Getting beat the way the Raptors got beat tonight should prompt some introspection. Maybe this is what you want. I thought about that many times when Darko didn't call a timeout today. I was like, maybe he wants his team to get his ass kicked, to get their ass kicked today. Maybe what he wants is for them to go into this All-Star break pissed off. Maybe he wants to remind them, yeah, you got all these All-Stars. You got 2 All-Stars, you got Glorilla, you got the fans gassing you, you got analysts, you got people making videos saying you're legit. You got Elijah Martin there, you got CMB there. I know that y'all are feeling yourselves right now, but just to remind you of where you actually are as a basketball team when you don't want to play right, go get your ass kicked by the undermanned Detroit Pistons. I promise you, in the long term, an ass kicking like this is exactly what this team needed right now, because they were feeling themselves a little too much. Canceling practice because Brandon Ingram made an all-star team. I need to hear the word championship in Toronto over the next 1 year. I need to hear Scottie Barnes start talking about, I want to win a championship. But that is not a step you can take before you get knocked out in the playoffs. Show up to the playoffs, show up prepared, show up ready, show up playing your best basketball, go take it as deep as you can. You're probably not going to go that deep because other teams are bigger, stronger, better, more equipped, more experienced. They know that situation more. They're less shook in that moment. That moment is the moment of truth. It will shake you to your core because it reveals who you really are. The playoffs are the great revealer of what you really are. Are you Michael Jordan in the playoffs? You show up every single time. No game sevens, game winner galore. Or are you LeBron James? Are you LeBron James, Mr. Choke, no show, D Wade bailed me out. Okay, now I win. Now I rewrite the history. Now everything's 2016. Don't focus on 2007. Don't focus on 2012. Don't focus on I was in a weak East, but let's not focus on that. Let's just focus on the fact that I got there. Are you that dude? LeBron showed up major in the playoffs. I don't want to present it like LeBron wasn't one of the greatest playoff players ever. But in the big moments, in those really big moments, how many times did he show up really big in those big moments? This one right here. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Iron Mike fucking Tyson. I like Mike Tyson. I like Mike Tyson a lot. I don't think anyone is surprised that a crash out like me likes Mike Tyson. I love Mike Tyson. Should have bit his other ear off too. And I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Shout outs to Evander Holyfield, man. No, but I genuinely feel this way. Like Mike Tyson, there was this one interview where he's talking to this guy and this guy's trying to get a reaction out of him. And Mike's like, I don't like you. And the guy's just like, what have I done to you, Mike? And he's like, I don't like you. I feel like you're trying to get something out of me. I feel like you're trying to piss me off and you were kind of pissing me off. I was just like, I was thinking the same thing. He's pissing me off too, man. Baba G Cuts said, Penn, host panel tomorrow. You don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Nobody want to see me hosting the panel. I just cope. I would just be coping about Scottie Barnes for the next 2 hours. I don't think so, man. Just piss me off. That's perfect, man. I hope this show has been relatively entertaining for you. If you're someone who struggles with mental health and were offended by my Cam H prompt, I want you to know that jokes are not funny unless they're at least partially true. And I do believe that if you're writing to me in all caps that Cam Thomas went off tonight as if Cam Thomas was going to be the solution to beating the Detroit Pistons tonight, I genuinely think you might have some mental health issues, and I was genuinely trying to be helpful. I'm just saying, trying to be helpful. But, you know, if it comes off offensive, shit. Kian said, I think low-key my favorite part of Pinecone person said one of the most entertaining lives I've seen. Well, that's good. That's good. Lives should be entertaining. Sports should be entertaining. When they're not entertaining, call Cam H. Peace.